in downtown Baton Rouge. Yes, it's creeping towards warmer day by day. Looking ahead, though, there will be another front to roll through. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Got a big show lined up for you today. We'll talk education with Adonica Duggan. Eye Care is going to be in for Crimestoppers. Haggai is coming up in half an hour. 8 o'clock hour. Mike Strain's in the house. That's all he had to say, right? Mike Strain's in the house for the 8 o'clock hour.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Always. We got a lot to get to, so let's dive right in. Top stories and trending. Let's go.
The biggest stories, the breaking news, the headline makers.
I think something is happening.
Top stories and trending, presented by Baton Rouge Metro Airport, starts now on Talk 107.3. Number 5.
This actually just popped up on WBRC. I'm going to hop on, piggyback off of them real quick. We're going to start you off in Bruley. Crews in Bruley will be replacing old utility poles today. They'll be using large machinery to upgrade infrastructure along Main Street, Highway 1, LeBeau Street, and Vaughn Drive. Bruley police say drivers should expect temporary road closures and travels today between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Number 4.
A new interchange between I-10 and Pico Lane did open up yesterday. The opening marks the end of the years-long project to improve traffic flow in the southeastern part of East Baton Rouge Parish. It is expected to ease backups on both Seagan and Highland Road as well. The new exit includes a, quote, diverging diamond interchange in which traffic crosses left of center to make it easier to access both roadways.
Number 3.
SNAP restrictions on candy, energy drinks, and soda went into effect in Louisiana yesterday. Governor Landry pushed for the changes in alongside 11 other states. That the changes prevent people from using their SNAP money on what Landry called, quote, taxpayer-subsidized unhealthy lifestyles and eating habits. The LDH's website says the restrictions were to begin yesterday, but they run through January 12th of 2028. So this isn't exactly in perpetuity, but it is for the next few years.
Number 2.
Baton Rouge officials yesterday they announced the return of the American Cruise Line ship to the city's riverfront. No, I'm sorry. They're going to make that announcement today. My apologies. American Cruise Lines has visited the city regularly, adding Baton Rouge as a port of call for its American Song vessel back in 2018. A little bit of a COVID-19 hiatus, then American ships returned to the city in 2021.
Number 1.
2 Baton Rouge police officers were ambushed and shot while responding to a 911 call Tuesday night. According to BRPD, 24-year-old Bryson Jordan called 911 late Tuesday. Officers responded to a house on Vanderbilt Drive near Sewanee Drive around 11:30 p.m. When they arrived, the officers noticed Jordan looking at them through the front window of the house, according to an arrest affidavit. As they exited their marked police unit, he allegedly fired 3 shots at the officers. The officers were fine. Jordan was arrested.
There's a look at today's top stories. Now let's find out what's trending.
All right. The inaugural meeting of President Trump's Board of Peace is scheduled to happen today at the White House.
Okay, let's go.
I dug into this a little bit. He says it's going to be some of the greatest leaders from around the world. But if you notice, the Pope has declined.
The what?
The Pope. Pope Leo has declined.
As he should.
I know.
No. This is a meeting of political figures.
Yeah, I know.
Did you read the statement from the Pope? Because he said we'll be praying for him. Of course, that's our role. Like that.
Okay.
That is.
So it's a good thing.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm sure those who are the biggest Trump supporters out there are going to look at this as if the Pope is snubbing him. But the fact of the matter is, he's not a political leader. He's a religious leader. He's going to sound off on religious angles of political topics from time to time, but that's only because politics has invaded every corner of our lives.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. 8 of the 9 missing skiers in Nevada have been found dead. Oh, this story. There is still one missing.
Man,
I finally watched the video last night on CBS.
There's
News.
video?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Not from the actual mountain part, but I guess just people skiing on the bottom slope.
Yeah.
Where the cabins were, etc. Somebody panned the camera up with that big old thing coming down. I'm like, of course, they didn't show that part, but that's horrible.
ABC News. I was listening to ABC News this morning. It was right at 5. It was the 5 o'clock news because I was making the coffee downstairs, and they were saying if you're found within the first hour, you have an 80% chance of survival. 80 to 90% chance of survival. If you are not found within the first hour, your chances of survival are basically zero.
That's horrible.
I know.
That's horrible.
I know.
All right, it's been settled. Boneless wings are still wings because, of course, they are.
No, they're not. They're nuggets.
No, they're okay. An Illinois district court judge has ruled against a guy who sued Buffalo Wild Wings for $10 million when he found out their boneless wings aren't made from wing meat. They're chicken. They're the part of the wing.
No, they're not. They just said they're not made of wing meat. So how can you call them wings when they're made of breast meat?
I'm gonna stand on this.
If they're made of breast meat, they're nuggets.
So we just call them
the
chicken
judge
nuggets.
has this wrong. The judges are wrong, but at the same time, he doesn't, because this guy's just looking for an easy paycheck. So I'm not supportive of the frivolous lawsuit either. But hang on, let me pull it back up again.
It reminds me of the story of the man who burned himself on the McDonald's coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is totally a case with Jackie Childs. This is Kramer's attorney from Seinfeld.
Where's Franz when we need him?
No, I know. So, okay. He claimed the name is misleading, but the judge said it's just a name. Kind of the same way most people wouldn't think buffalo wings are made from buffaloes. See? But wing is in the name. So, yeah, it should be, number one, wings have bones. That's just a thing. If you don't have a bone, don't call it a wing. So it's a nugget of breast meat. They just call it a buffalo wing. So the judge is saying it doesn't really matter what it's called. There's nothing actual there. You're not getting $10 million, loser.
That's so funny.
You nothing.
I can't believe he got that much money.
He didn't. No. They ruled against him. They ruled against him. He didn't get anything.
I know. Gosh.
You get nothing.
No chicken either.
No soup for you. 2 Seinfeld references in one segment. All right. We got sports coming up in just a little bit. Before we take our first break, though, I want to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is the website. FlyBTR.com. If you're making your travel plans throughout the spring or summer, give Baton Rouge Metro Airport a look, please. You want to talk about unbelievably easy with the cashless parking or the automated parking. You want to talk about unbelievably easy with the TSA line being just an absolute breeze. You want to talk about easy when you come home and you don't have another hour you've got to drive. It's amazing. I went to Washington, D.C. a little bit less than a month ago, right? Due to the weather situation, I had to pivot my plans and fly out of New Orleans, and that was just brutal. But when I came home, I was still able to keep my return flight home. So I was able to return home to BTR, got back home, and 15 minutes later, I'm in my house and my shoes are off. It was awesome. FlyBTR.com.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Bryson Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Bryson Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSBA filing number LA2518447.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date.
Yeah,
your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected. Your floor mats are cleaned and delivered. And your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
He's coming. Here he goes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com.
No,
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk.
Sorry, thank you, Renee. Program 4 was pushed for some reason. For the first time, I can say I didn't do it. Byron says, I guess I should drop my lawsuit against Frankie's dog hounds.
What happened there? Oh, because it wasn't made of actual dog. See?
Byron.
Is it sad that I can understand Byron without it? I didn't even read his comment and I understood him. Were you able to get those two cuts out of the video? Okay.
It has a little remote to where I can move it if I need it.
Well, that's cool. My concern is that they're going to let 180 pros know. I don't want 180 pros to come in and fix the camera. It's not to their level. I don't want to call them in.
We don't need it to be 80 million.
I know. That is. That's what that is.
I know. Just make it work.
Morning, Haggai.
Good morning, Haggai. How are you? Look, he's barking you.
We moved over from the Demco mug to the bucket of Tech Gumbo. 616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. LSU women's basketball. We'll be back at it tonight. Get to that in just a second. Want to recap first what went down yesterday with LSU baseball. Nichols rolled into the box. Another 1 p.m. start time because Jay Johnson hates the fan base. That's why. Not really. He likes to make sure you have wiggle room in case there is rain. Mercy rule yesterday, 12-1 your final score. Literally everybody played. Literally everybody got hits. It was a ridiculous. If you pull up the box score, it is, which I'm trying to do right now. LSU had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hang on, not done yet. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 guys played yesterday.
Gosh.
19 guys played yesterday. Couple of quick highlights. Reagan Ricken threw 3 innings, 3 scoreless innings to close out the game. I don't want to say he looked good because I heard it at the game on the radio. I was listening to Eagle 98.1. I didn't watch the game. I heard the game, and per Patrick Wright and Doug Thompson, he sounded real good. Also from yesterday, great performances by Tanner Reeves. Really, really positive stuff coming from Braden Simpson and from John Pearson, both pinch hitting in the last inning and getting first pitch hits. In fact, for Pearson, it was a 3-run homer that pushed it over the top to make it the run rule. So LSU, it means a lot when you got guys that can come off the bench and swing the stick with no prep time whatsoever. That's going to mean a lot down the road. So good to see that early on in the season. LSU baseball wheels up, I believe today, to go to Jacksonville, Florida, to take on Indiana, Notre Dame, and Central Florida over the weekend. Women's basketball, by the way, needing to rebound from their South Carolina loss on Saturday. Corey Diaz of the USA Today Network tells her news partners at Louisiana Radio Network the inability to come out on top late comes from LSU's lack of killer instincts.
It's the will to want to win the game when the game is on the line.
No, he doesn't know his ass.
It's sort of that I'm not going to be denied attitude and approach to this.
No, he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. I'm sorry. We're going to skip those last 2 sound bites. It has nothing to do with that and everything to do with a couple of missed free throws and a 29% shooting percentage in the second half. The shots just wouldn't go down. Killer instinct. My apologies. I didn't even. Whatever.
Brian's fired up.
I'm a little protective of my girls right now. This is our women's basketball team. Lack of killer instinct. Did you see Flau'jae Johnson take over in the final minutes? That game isn't close without her killer instinct. I don't like a killer instinct. Shut up, Corey Diaz. Tonight's game, by the way, I'll be right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Another ranked team they're going to play in Ole Miss. So The SEC in women's basketball is an absolute gauntlet and remains that way. I'm gonna settle down while we hit the Fox Business Report. That was on purpose. That was on purpose. Do what? You got Windex in here? Look in that bag back. Yeah, I don't know if there's Windex or if it's all Lysol. I would use a paper towel out of the bathroom because that towel is used for the Lysoling of the things. Yeah. Now,
excuse me, y'all.
Can you tell who I was being tested in press?
There we go, Brian in HD.
Gosh, you sound so excited about that. Hey, it's Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. I'm a widow.
My husband died.
That's who did? Yeah. God bless that you get to do that, though. Christy's mom, full on dementia, and her sister's. No. Hang on 1 second. All right, we're still looking at pretty major problems on I-10 westbound heading across the river. It's basically the width of the bridge is what we're looking at here. There's also, before you get to that, a stalled vehicle on 10 westbound by the 10-110 split. So that's going to add to the mess that already is with the accident on the other side of the river there. By the way, while we're on the other side of the river, let me just remind you that because of the exact same accident, I believe it's the same accident causing these problems, we got a whole lot of problems on Highway 1. So be on the lookout for just major delays getting through Baton Rouge on 10 westbound. Backing it up to 12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. You got your normal delays right there. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish. We're looking good, even at the new Pico Lane exit. Outside of that, no other surface streets to accidents to report. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. .623 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180pros.com is the website. 180pros.com. Don't get yourself an IT provider, get an IT partner. I love the name 180 Pros too, because that's exactly what they do with your tech. That's exactly what they do with your network. Turn to 180. Is it time for a 180 within your office? 180pros.com. When we talk about having an IT partner instead of a provider, what that means essentially is their success is based off of your success. What that means is, you know how everybody will give you a 1-800 number to call and then this big automated menu, blah, 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 and you finally reach somebody who is nowhere near here? No, you'll call 225-330-2200. 225-330-2200. You'll get same-day response time from 180 Pros. They've also got simplified billing. Get yourself a one-page invoice. Highly recommend the upgrade there. And, oh, by the way, right there on the top of their website. And see, they need to let me know this. You can get up to 20% off this month when you partner with 180 Pros. 180pros.com. Mardi Gras threw off the week a good bit, and our news cycles are not our normal news cycles here. Only so much we can get done within a 3-hour period. So I want to dial back to Monday, if we could. Monday, businessman John Miller spoke to the Press Club of Baton Rouge, presenting his plan to form a public-private partnership to purchase a new airline. He is the founder and controlling shareholder of the Country Club of Louisiana. He said this proposal includes moving the airline's headquarters to New Orleans. Cut one, please.
I'm here today because we briefly introduced the efforts that I am making right now through Jim recently. And now we're basically saying to the world that New Orleans intends to be a major player. There's really nothing that keeps us from doing everything that I am proposing. You do not ask an airline for service. If you want to create a hub, you buy an airline.
And Spirit Airlines is the one that he wants to buy. He went on to talk about, he knows full well what kind of trouble they're in. But this kind of trouble, you can, when you make the proper investment on the front end, you can get yourself out of. It's very similar in a business sense from, I hate to compare an airline to a clothing line, but when the North Face went through bankruptcy, or was about to go through bankruptcy, and they got bought out by VF. If you look at it through that lens, it makes a ton of sense. Making New Orleans a hub is a huge, huge thing as well. But here's the thing. Miller, he's either, and I want to get him on the show, because he's either a genius or a crazy person. I don't know which yet. 24 minutes at the Press Club. And I wasn't at the Press Club on Monday, prior obligations, but I was able to go back and watch the video afterwards. And that within that 24-minute video, I had so many questions I want to follow up with. I should have been there. Anyway, he's got visions for where he wants this to go beyond just making Spirit Airlines' hub New Orleans. Because if you make the hub New Orleans, number one, you probably have to grow out a whole other gate, wing of the airport down there. Number two, what is the residual business that comes from it? And this was where he starts really dreaming big. You think you're dreaming big to buy an airline, fix it financially, rebuild its reputation, get it back out there on a national scale. Well, think about the businesses beyond that and just how big you can dream, how far you can go out. He starts making some pretty ridiculous comparisons to what New Orleans could be on that front.
Guess how many people go to Disney World every year? 10 million, which includes adults and children. Oh, we have no problem in getting 10 million people to the New Orleans area if we wanted to build what is absolutely the greatest resort in the world. How about Singapore? Singapore allows only 2 casino resorts. Oh man, we're so fortunate. We have Caesars in New Orleans. Have you been to Las Vegas? Do you understand the 160,000 rooms in Las Vegas? And New Orleans has 40,000? But Caesars is great, but it's not Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. Marina Bay Sands is the greatest casino resort in the world that generates over $1 billion of taxes a year for Singapore. Can we have that in New Orleans? Not today, we can't. We can when we build this hub in New Orleans, which then will allow us to expand it and expand it and expand it and result in basically doing anything we want to do.
Do I need to repeat it? He's either a genius or a crazy person. I mean, yeah, the greatest resort on the planet. That's awesome. Maybe I just don't have the vision to see that in Caesars New Orleans. There's a big difference between, the coastal front property in Singapore with the world's greatest resort versus Beyonce's sister throwing drinks on people the night before the Super Bowl. Yeah, I took it back to the last Super Bowl. That's fine. There's a big difference between that resort being the destination and all the things that surround it in New Orleans. You'd have to have a completely separate thing going on, which is why, like I said, I have a ton of questions I want to follow up with. other part of this that I'm curious about is what it would take to get Spirit back on his feet. Once you ruin your reputation, especially with something like flying, and not from a safety standpoint, I don't think they've had safety problems, but just poor customer service. Rebuilding that reputation is not an easy thing to do, unless you're making a big splash with all new ownership, which is exactly what he'd be doing. So I'm not closing the book on this by any stretch of the imagination. I want to hear him out a lot more. And oh, by the way, where's the carve out for Baton Rouge? Would this mean more flights for Baton Rouge? That's the next chapter. 6:30, Cup of Tech Gumbo's next. Ha! That's funny. Did I tell you yesterday when the gospel reading for Ash Wednesday from Matthew says, and when you pray, don't pray like the hypocrites in the middle of the street. Go to the innermost room of your home and close the door to pray in private, right? How many people heard that gospel, got their ashes, and then immediately posted the selfie? Probably. He needs it. Hopefully he went to confession first. Now, the flip side of that is, if your priest or Deacon Grant, I went to a different church yesterday, but Deacon Grant always just completely, like, my wife comes out of there almost in blackface. But if your particular clergy member just really smudged you up real good, okay, that's a valid post. Oh my God, he got me good. But the whole, I went to the drive-through ashes.
Yeah. 6:30 mass to serve.
You still got a little residual up there, by the way.
Oh, done.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, or you could do like me, go get your ashes, forget you got your ashes, and then go to the gym. And when that ash-riddled sweat drips into your eyes, yeah, I'm blind. For like, I like literally had to stop what I was doing, go to the water fountain and wash it out.
He's the number 3 person in the entire U.S. government. He might be a little busy. I mean, do you think he's really ignoring the district when he's trying to run the government?
Right.
Yeah, let's go ahead and run him out because we'd rather somebody, a freshman congressperson, as opposed to having the Speaker of the House. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, we had that guy that ran against Graves a couple of years ago because Graves' office never called him back. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. Good luck. It's your prerogative. Go for it.
I love the crazy candidates, by the way.
Yeah,
because you can't tell a crazy candidate they're crazy. They don't believe they're crazy.
Like that guy running for the 5th.
Did you see his video?
I haven't seen his video. I saw him.
The number of people who have sent me his video, his commercial, which Sammy Wyatt. Yeah, I hate negative campaigning.
I mean,
and
it would be one
the
thing.
thing is, the truth of the matter is Cassidy has no say over the editorial content of it. He's just the impetus behind driving the dollars towards it. But like,
have they not paid attention to who has endorsed Julia?
Yes, I know.
I mean, okay, so you're calling Trump a liberal at that point.
Yeah, basically. Honestly, if I were doing a negative ad against Julia Letlow, if I wanted to negate Trump's endorsement, I would just say Trump endorses hot chicks. Like how quickly would that like knock her feet out from under her? Like, she's a remarkably attractive woman, and that's all it takes to get Trump's endorsement. And like everybody would start to say, like, "Oh, he said the quiet part out loud." Then I adore Julia. I think she's doing an awesome job. Yeah. She has absolutely taken the job on to learn as much as her learning curve has been ridiculous. It's been awesome to follow. But if I were running a negative ad, that is exactly where I would go. Make attractiveness a pejorative. By the way, how about John Fleming's team with the poor Photoshop of putting Trump in pictures with Fleming?
Oh, that's so sad.
It's like cut and paste.
You almost want to.
Oh. And by the way, I have the ad written too. I would bring up like every other example of it. Like I would start with Kristi Noem and just go from there. 637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Oh my goodness gracious. We have a lot to get to on the technology front, so we waste no time. Cup of Tech Gumbo, let's go. Oh my goodness gracious. We're going to start off with something that could be a crossover episode between Tech Gumbo and Legally Served. Haggai, how are you, man?
I'm great, Brian.
You know where I'm going to start off, right? Is this whole trial about addiction and whatnot?
Oh yeah.
Let's dive in. I know you want to start with YouTube on that front, so let's go.
So if you're not aware, there's this landmark trial going on in California where a young woman, and all they're using is her name, KGB, and
KGB.
Yeah, that's her initials. Yeah,
that can't be any better.
Fill in your own jokes there.
Oh my gosh, so many jokes.
She is suing the social media platforms because she says that they are addictive.
Yes,
and all Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, they're all bundled into this big, consortium that's being sued. And this has got legs. I mean, it is in court already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the YouTube lawyers, the first swing out, at the plate was, hey, we're not even social media. We're an entertainment channel, like we're like Netflix more than we are like Facebook.
Okay, let's bring Netflix into it, which is also addictive, by the way.
Well, and
if it wasn't, you wouldn't have something called binge watching.
One of the people from YouTube even said, hey, look, if I sit there and watch 8 hours if I binge watch a show on Netflix and I say, oh, I'm addicted to this show, I'm not really addicted. I'm just using that phrase. So they're trying to twist and contort themselves into not saying, because you can get into these scrolls. They've got the YouTube Shorts, which just like the Facebook Reels, just like the TikTok, these short form scrolling videos are on all the platforms, and they are all just as addictive. Now, I'm not a clinical psychologist, psychiatrist. I'm not trained in any of those types of things. I'm an IT guy. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I can 100% say I know what addiction is or can diagnose it. But when people are spending as much time in these on these platforms as they do, and we all do, it's an addiction.
Yeah. So there's multiple parts to the addiction. There's the doom scrolling part of this as well. But where I think YouTube is going to lose their argument to be separated from the Facebook and the Instagram and TikTok and all the rest, they're not separate from it because they try to, with the shorts, they're trying to match their business model off of it. And they're not Netflix because Netflix isn't user-submitted video.
That's the key.
Which offers the possibility of likes and shares. And so it's likes and shares that give you the dopamine rush.
100%. Netflix, everything that's
By the way, I think the whole case is garbage. But I'm going to, like, within the case, though, if YouTube, it's either all or nothing. Like, YouTube is part of the whole thing.
Netflix, everything that's on Netflix is scripted, it's produced, it has paid actors, everything is
right.
Quality video. YouTube is all 100% content created.
Right. I can't say go to my Netflix channel.
Right.
Go to my Netflix page.
Absolutely. I mean, you can go find Tech Gumbo on YouTube.
Hey, we're on YouTube right now.
Absolutely.
We're on YouTube live right now.
And so you can't sit there and say you're just like Netflix, because you're not. Now, you're not just like Facebook, but then again, Facebook is not like it used to be. It used to be everybody posted pictures of what you were eating for dinner and what your kids were doing on the way to school. Now it's more about, political and all kind of memes. And so it's not a gathering place where social media, it's not even, social media was, let's gather and talk on social media together. People don't do that anymore. They post on pictures of where they went on vacation, and you're not gathering. You're looking for entertainment.
Right.
And the guy from Instagram even went on and said, look, just because some kids spend 16 hours doom scrolling on Instagram does not mean they're addicted to it.
That's exactly what that means. But why I think the whole case is garbage is because it's not Facebook's fault or Meta's fault or YouTube's fault. It's only the fault of the person who's watching that got addicted.
Well, I'm going to push back on you there.
Go for it. Because
the way these algorithms work, the way the social media platforms with all these videos work, they 100% are trying to keep you addicted to it. These algorithms are designed just like a slot machine. They don't give you a win every time. They give you a win, and then it's okay. Well, that was not good. Let me find. Oh, here's a good one. And they go. Oh, look, here's another good one. And it might be 3 or 4. And just a slot machine doesn't want you to win every time. It wants you to get enough of a dopamine rush when you do get that win for the next 3, 4, 5, 10 losses in a row. And then you get a good one. Oh boy, you're back in, and now you're hoping you get another good one next. That's the way these algorithms work. In that it's designed to trigger you. B.F. Skinner was the guy who created this theory, and the people, when they were building these algorithms, they went and studied the casinos. They studied the slot machines as to how people get addicted and can sit there for 6 hours in front of a slot machine in a casino.
The casinos make money when you put the money in the slot machine. The social media makes money when they have advertisements that go in. So,
but if you're not sitting in front of that video going over and over and over, you're not seeing the ads, so they're not making money.
Right. And that's what I'm saying though but the more advertisements you see, the more the money they make.
Right.
So it would behoove them not to have too many of them. Where if you have too many hits in a slot machine, you're going to lose money. If you have too many hits on social media or on reels, you don't tend to lose anything.
And that's why you don't see ad after ad after ad. You're not even paying attention sometimes to the ads that you see, because they're not video ad. It might be video. You might get 4 or 5 videos, and then here's an ad.
Yeah.
And then you might get 10 videos, and here's an ad.
Yeah.
And so it's not an automatic every single video ad. And so you're not paying attention to the fact that, hey, I just saw 15 ads over the past 2 hours of scrolling.
Right. Problem is, though, the ads are so obvious. Like, it just, because most of them are supposed to be made to look like other content, but
they're obvious to you, but they're obvious to you because you're in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't recognize it the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
And they just see the ad, and then that ad shows them. A lot of times it shows you ads to make you feel bad about something. This, feel bad about myself because, but then here's an ad to make you feel good. Here's a video to make me feel bad. Here's an ad to make me, I can go buy that and I can feel better about myself.
Yeah.
And so when they play those games with you and you're playing with your mind, that's how they win.
Yes. And the target, by the way, so on point.
Oh, yeah.
The algorithm is very smart. Like, what do I lack in my life right now? Well, still trying to lose weight and never have energy. And they know how to target that specifically. Products that are nothing but snake oil, by the way.
Sure.
But they know how to target that specifically. They know how to give a middle-aged man the body issues of a teenage girl.
Absolutely. And they know how to really go after young women, young girls, and show them
I can imagine it's a million times worse.
Oh, absolutely it is.
We got a break real quick. I tell you what, you talk.
All right. We're gonna take a break here. We got to go to a quick commercial set. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about technology here on Mornings with Brian Haldane.
Hopefully she'll be back. Hey, Brie Lynn.
Oh, we're 47. I'm sorry.
Because we go over to the next segment.
Sorry, y'all.
It's all right.
Brian, hey, Brie Lynn. I keep thinking, I was like, I got time because you're money now. No, I know. We take commercials first.
Well, even still, you would have to pull up your money now.
Yeah, that's true. I know. Got it, yo.
This is Connie Faith, President and CEO of the Greater Baton Rouge Industry Alliance. Louisiana industries are growing. We you consider a career as an electrical or instrumentation technician. We're gonna take a break.
Yeah, you can cut the edit right there.
Okay. I'm gonna cut it out today. Absolutely, it is. Okay.
Yeah, you can cut it right before I said you talk.
Haggai got this.
All right.
I gotta leave that part. All right.
No, because it's not. It doesn't make sense to anybody else.
Oh, okay. Haggai. Hi.
This might be one of my favorite memes ever. I bet Rick Astley struggles with Lent.
Never going to give you up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Somebody, Patrick Reynolds, if you appear on a talk show with the ashes, will the FCC demand equal time for other religions?
Ooh.
Patrick Reynolds being a smart ass.
No, I know, but there's got to be a response. There's got to be a good response. Oh, it's a challenging one. Shit.
Wait, what?
If you appear on a talk show with ashes, will the FCC demand equal time for other religions?
Well, it depends.
No, because you don't. Well, because not just Catholics do ashes.
Episcopals do?
Yeah. Episcopals do the drive-through ashes.
Lutherans?
Yeah, so do Lutherans.
I was going to say Lutherans do too.
Yeah.
Presbyterian.
Yeah.
They do drop through ashes.
All of the Catholic lights.
Does Baptists? They don't do ashes.
No.
I'm not denominational, so I know we don't do ashes, but I feel left out. I want to get my ashes done.
It's a little late now.
Next year.
Just get in line right now. You'll be early for next year.
Right.
It's only 364 more days.
So yeah, it's gotten to be, I don't know, it's more of a social thing than it is a religious thing. It's
Everybody all over my news feed, y'all are selfies.
I'm sure.
Of people with their
I'm
ashes.
sure.
Somebody was like in front of the church and she's going, I'm like,
it is a somber reminder of our own mortality. Before putting the ashes on your forehead, the priest says, remember you are dust, and to dust you shall return.
Oh, really?
Don't even do it for Palm Sunday.
What do y'all say? Good luck scrubbing this off.
No, be true to the Gospels.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's only 12 hours ago when I was lost my mind. I can't remember the exact phrase, but yeah.
We might not have a Foodie Friday tomorrow.
No Foodie Friday?
And then Miss Stephanie's running a fever. We're supposed to have Zealand Street tomorrow.
That's okay.
Don't want her cooking if she's sick.
I know. Well, and this poor woman just beat cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Around the world. 652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. I don't know. I closed my clock out on my computer and it was like, I didn't need a clock. I know we come back in at 652 and yet I had to have that 652 staring me in the face to actually get it right. Cup of Tech Gumbo continuing as part of mornings with Brian Haldane. We got Haggai Davis in the house. Want to continue on with this this trial about social media being addictive. Everything can be addictive.
And that's the interesting thing about this. And granted,
can I sue Todd Graves every time I crave chicken?
You know, I think he's going to say no.
Of course. I feel like the dad from So I Married an Axe Murder, you know? The colonel. He puts an addictive chemical in his chicken. Like that's what I'm feeling like with something like this.
And you know, this is where you're probably going to want to have somebody get Franz back on to talk about the legal part of it, but and get somebody, a mental health professional, to talk about what is addiction and what you can actually call addiction, because that's not my world. I'm just telling you about this case that's going on, and it's going to be it's this landmark trial that's really trying to go after the big social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And are they addictive? Well, it depends. What are you going to call addiction? I mean, I don't know. But when these algorithms have got people so captured that they can't walk away, when these teenagers are spending 16 hours because they want to make sure they see the video, so when they're talking to their friends, if they ever talk to friends again, they talk about the same videos. Hey, did you see this video? Oh yeah, I saw that. But you haven't seen it? Well, here, let me show you this video. Now you feel like you've missed out on something because you didn't see that video. That fear of missing out thing is still around. And so, maybe addiction is the wrong word. I don't know. That's not my world.
There are so many different things that can cause a dopamine rush.
I yes, absolutely.
And not all of if we start to say that this is addictive, then literally everything is addictive. And there's my biggest problem with this Haggai is the complete lack of personal responsibility.
I understand. The pushback on that is because the way that these algorithms were created, most people don't have the wherewithal to understand they're being toyed with,
mm-hmm.
and they're being fed something put all these algorithms, they're putting all this stuff in that it screws with your brain and it makes you want to continue going. And so that's where, okay, is this addiction or is this what I just really want to watch? People want to be entertained. People have been seeking entertainment for 1 million years of one form or another.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a system that's been designed to give you exactly what you want.
Okay, so we need to rewind the clock back to I'm glad you brought up the overall entertainment part of this, because we need to rewind the clock back to the first time a television went to commercial with a cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
It's the exact same trigger in the mind.
Sure it is. And, I remember, Who Shot JR? That's the biggest cliff ever of all time. I mean, that summer, I went to Europe on a vacation, and I remember and people were asking me in Europe, who shot JR?
I wasn't there.
I watched the same TV show you did. How do I know? Oh, because, I lived in Louisiana, which is next to Texas.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah. That's how, that kind of cliffhanger thing. And what's in the next video? What's in the next video? What's in the next video? Oh, I want to see what, that was so cool. Hopefully they give me another one just like it next time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, God, I don't know. I don't know what addiction is. I know what it looks like.
See, exactly.
I'm not going to define it for you because I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trained that way. I'm telling you what's going on in this courtroom and what everyone's saying about it. That's for the judge and the medical, clinical professionals to decide.
We've got about 2.5 minutes left. I want to touch on this Anthropic pack. Tell me all about this, please.
Okay, so Anthropic, which they developed Claude, the large language model, and OpenAI, which has ChatGPT. Claude is trying to be somewhat responsible and put some guardrails, and they are all in favor of some type of regulation as to what AI can and cannot and should be doing.
Okay.
OpenAI wants no regulations. They want
right there in their name, open.
They want everything. Well, that's not what open was.
I know.
That's not why they got that name. That they have now both created super PACs to get into the political game. They both got $20 million in their super PACs. To OpenAI is saying, hey, we want no regulations. We want to be able to do everything and anything we can because we got to make a buck because we're $1 trillion in debt with all the invested money that we've taken in. Whereas Claude or Anthropic is saying, no. Just because you need all that money, we don't need that. We want some guardrails. And so now you've got both of the two companies that built super PACs to create ads, to attack candidates from one direction or the other, to try and promote candidates who either want some regulations as far as artificial intelligence or promote candidates who want no regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we see those ads here in Louisiana. I don't know, but I know if you're in DC, you're gonna see these ads, and you're gonna, all the lobbyists are gonna be hired to go after, this, regulation versus non-regulation. It's a fascinating thing that artificial intelligence now has the political arena fights going on,
as it should. This is going to be this big of a discussion.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm fully expect. I've been fully ready for this. We gotta get out of here. What else on the show this week?
We're going to talk about Meta is creating their grief tech so that Facebook lives on after you die, and really sick things like that. Just the typical tech gumbo.
You know where to get it. Saturdays and Sundays here on Talk 107.3 FM, and of course everywhere you get your podcast on demand. He's Haggai Davis, the host of Tech Gumbo. Always appreciate it.
You bet.
We're coming up on the top of the hour here, 7 o'clock. So the 7 o'clock hour is headed your way. We're talking education with Adonica Duggan. We're talking Crimestoppers. That's all heading your way in the next hour. Right now, here's ABC News. Oh. This blaming, like anytime the blaming social media, just no, take responsibility for yourself. You're not Roxy Hart blaming jazz music. This isn't Chicago.
there's part of me that I agree with you. We have gotten so far away from taking personal responsibility for anything, but there's also that other part that says they are so damn good with these algorithms, and people don't know how. Most people don't have the wherewithal to understand they're being toyed with.
That's a bigger problem, and it's not their problem. It's not their problem that people are stupid,
right?
Like it's not.
But we've devalued education. We've devalued science. We've devalued so many things that were, hey, all I got to do is just go to ChatGPT, type something in, and I can get my answers. Why do I need to learn anything?
None of that. As much as I despise Mark Zuckerberg, none of that is his fault.
No, they've created exactly what we've been asking them to do for us.
Yeah.
And
by the way, I want it to be addictive. I want to just turn my brain off for a little while and then turn it back on when I put my phone down.
But see, you're capable of putting your phone down and walking away from it.
Everyone is. Everyone is capable of doing.
They're capable, but if you aren't sharp enough to train your brain to do things like that, if you're just the sponge.
And what about if you're a kid? Well, then your parents need to shut your screen off at a certain point.
Absolutely.
Hey, and that's the bigger problem I have. And by the way, I think it's KGM, not KGB.
Was it KGM?
Yeah. But the parent needs to step in and take the damn phone away. Because I'm not particularly bright, but I am an adult. And I will act like it from time to time.
Oh, it is KGM. Oh, it has KGM, not KGB.
KGB was just too good to let it go.
Yeah. Well, KGM. Kaylee, what is her actual first name, but KGM. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be real fascinating to see I don't see this. I not a legal, not a lawyer, how they can actually convict these, or not, because it's a civil trial, not a criminal trial, but how they can find that these are actually addictive. But then again, how can you say they're not? I mean, it's a two-sided coin, and both sides of the coins are real.
In order to determine addiction, there's got to be a chemical reaction in the brain that acknowledges the reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the same way that the mouse hits the button, the pellet comes out, the mouse eats the pellet, right? It's no different than, like you said, it's like the slot machines. If that's the case, then coupons at the store give you the same reaction. When you see somebody scan a coupon and your total comes down a little bit, oh, look at that, I just saved money. Everything in life that can get you a positive reaction can then be considered addictive.
Yeah.
And I understand that they're better at it than most, but like everything in life can give you a positive reaction.
It's not that they're better than most, they're the best at it.
Exactly. So let's sue them because they're Nick Saban.
It's such a fascinating conversation that we're going to sue somebody because they're doing exactly what we've asked them to do.
Yeah.
Entertain us. Give us more of what we want.
Right.
Feed me more. I'm asking you to give me more.
Feed me, Seymour.
It's a different musical. That's two musicals in a row. I referenced Chicago. We get to blame jazz music like Roxy Hart.
All that jazz? All that jazz? That was 70s.
Yeah.
No, that's a good movie, though. Did you ever see it?
Once. I don't remember it. I went on a musical binge when I worked at Blockbuster, and we had 5 rentals a week. So.
Oh, I've always loved musicals. See you, Facebook.
Appreciate it, Haggai.
You bet. Berlin, as always.
As always. See you soon.
Oh, yeah.
You too.
Balin said tornadoes.
Yeah. .706 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. We got ourselves a busy hour lined up. Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students is squared away to join us in our next segment. Looking forward to that conversation. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to their upcoming. They've got an upcoming event called Education as a Civil Right. Very, very much looking forward to that conversation. We're also going to talk with the folks from iCare for our Crimestoppers segment this week. Talk about teen dating violence campaign, anti-violence campaign, I should say. That's all coming your way throughout the hour. Of course, we are starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 70 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. Before we get to anything else, we start off the hour with top stories and trending. I would be remiss if I didn't go right back to that traffic report that Ray had right there as one of our top stories this morning. Got a train that stopped over on the west side, and it is wreaking havoc throughout the city. First and foremost, I-10 westbound is jammed up. You heard Ray say it, over an hour's drive to get you through Baton Rouge this morning. The delays, they start back before the 10-12 split. So if you're on 10 westbound, you're going to start to hit the brakes a little bit right after, or you're going to hit the brakes completely right after Essen Lane. Same is true over on 12 westbound. But this is, it's going to take you all the way through the city and then across the bridge. And then getting off at Port Allen is basically a no-go. And now we've seen it to where 10 eastbound is getting backed up coming into Baton Rouge if you're heading from, back across from the other direction. So this train in Port Allen causing all kinds of problems this morning, up to and including a lot of bad news on Highway 1 as well. So I would recommend taking the old bridge if you're heading over to Port Allen. However, once you get over to Highway 1, you're going to get jammed up anyway. You'll get to Highway 1 faster, but you're going to get jammed up once you get there. My, oh my, how valuable a new bridge would be right about now. A new interchange between I-10 and Piku Lane opened up yesterday. We had Rodney Mallett on from DOTD yesterday to talk about this. This is the end of a big project to improve traffic flow in the southeastern part of East Baton Rouge Parish. It is expected to ease backups on Segan and Highland Road as well. The new exit includes a, quote, diverging diamond interchange in which traffic crosses left of center to make it easier to access both roadways. No more junk food on SNAP as of yesterday. The restrictions on candy, energy drinks, and soda went into effect. Governor Landry pushed for these changes along with 11 other states that joined up with him that prevent people from using their SNAP money on what Landry called, quote, taxpayer-subsidized unhealthy lifestyles and eating habits. The LDH's website says the restrictions, while they kicked in yesterday, run through January 12th of 2028. We need to talk about that topic at some point, Bree Lynn. That's just, to me, that's way too much of a talk. I tell you what. I'm looking at the rundown. 7:55. We're supposed to have the story about the 4th Congressional District. Mm-hmm. Throw that out. You and me are going to go back and forth on the junk food on SNAP thing.
I love junk food. Let's go.
All right, cool. Baton Rouge officials today plan to announce the return of an American Cruise Line ship to the city's riverfront. American Cruise Lines has visited the city regularly, adding Baton Rouge as a port of call for their American Song vessel back in 2018. After a COVID-19 hiatus, they returned to the city in 2021. 2 Baton Rouge police officers were ambushed and shot while responding to a 911 call. This happened Tuesday night. 24-year-old Bryson Jordan called 911. Officers responded to a house on Vanderbilt Drive near Sewanee around 11:30 p.m. When they got out, they saw Jordan inside the window. As they exited their marked police unit, he started firing off shots at them. When they come out fine, everybody else came out the house. Jordan was arrested. What you got?
The inaugural meeting of President Trump's Board of Peace is scheduled to happen today at the White House, where he will announce that member states have pledged more than $5 billion for reconstruction and humanitarian efforts in Gaza.
Okay, I like it. A lot of hubbub was made about the Pope declining to get involved.
And I mentioned it.
Yeah, you brought this up last hour. I think it's worth bringing up again because the head of the Catholic Church, or the representative of the Catholic Church, not wanting to get involved in a political battle between, Jews and Muslims, doesn't sound like a bad move to me. He's going to get criticized because he gets criticized no matter what he does. But this is a political battle for peace here, not a spiritual battle for the after. Like, this is, he completely be sticking his nose in something that he's got no business sticking his nose in.
I thought that it was about to turn messy, and you were like, wait, hold on. And
no, it is going to turn messy.
I know, but you made me see it from a different light.
Yeah, because I don't know why. I don't know how the Vatican does such a poor job of translating their message the right way. Or maybe they do a good job of it. It still gets screwed up. I don't know. I don't know like how
the old saying, you can't do anything right.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like no matter what they say, it's going to be misconstrued.
Right.
So because if and when you hear from the Pope on a political issue, which he's going to speak about it through a spiritual voice, he's going to get backlash on that front. And then he says, no, we're going to stand down on this one. He's going to get backlash on that front. There's no winning.
Right.
There's no winning.
8 of the 9 missing skiers in Nevada have been found dead, unfortunately. Yeah. There is still one missing.
Yep. And that person's dead too.
This is horrible.
Well, so I was listening to some stats on this. If you are after an avalanche, if you're found within the first hour, you have an 80 to 90% chance of survival. If you are not found within the first hour, your chances of survival drop to 0.
Oh.
Or like next to 0. Like not even enough to register a percentage point.
This is heartbreaking. Man. It's settled. Boneless wings are still wings. An Illinois district court judge has ruled against a guy who sued Buffalo Wild Wings for $10 million when he found out that their boneless wings aren't made from wing meat.
Correct. A judge said here's what the judge basically said. No, it's not made from wing meat, but no, it's also not made from buffalo. Which, by the way, the sauce was created in Buffalo. Nobody actually thinks it's made of buffalo. Like that's neither here nor there. The whole thing is the judge said, "Shut up." The judge basically said, "No soup for you." The judge said, "You're suing somebody for $10 million over a stupid little name. So go away." This was a case for Jackie Childs,
right?
Kramer's lawyer from Seinfeld. And it got tossed. So
go on Reddit, by the way. The responses, unsurprisingly saucy. People are getting into it on Reddit. I love it.
Okay. Can we agree though that it's a chicken nugget?
Okay, fine. I'll agree with that.
My thing is, there's already a name for breast meat that is battered and fried. No matter what sauce you put on it, breast meat that's battered and fried is a chicken nugget. We've already got a name for that. Buffalo. The problem is I don't think it's very marketable to call them buffalo nuggets because that sounds like something completely out of, yeah. Look at a break. Adana Cadogan's up next. I meant to tell you, and I this is on me. We should have thrown out the skier story for the second hour to get to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor because that's gonna be trending a lot more. That's on me though. I screwed it up. Morning. Morning. I got to knock. I didn't do Landmark Bank right there.
Oh, you got to come back in.
716 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Going to get to Adonica Duggan in just a quick second. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. Over at Landmark Bank, they pride themselves on being a community bank. They have been a community bank since 1897. I love right there on their website. They were founded in August of 1897 and capitalized with $15,000 from local investors who recognized the need for the community to have a bank to call its own. And here we are in 2026, and that is still their number one priorities for the community to have a bank to call their own. For you as a member of that community to have a banker that you can call upon. Unbelievably important when it comes to where you want to be, where you are in life and where you want to be in life. Whether you're talking about saving, whether you're talking about investing, whether you're talking about planning for your future, heck, whether you're talking about starting a small business or running your small business, visit landmarkbankla.com. All right, education as a civil right. Let's talk about it. Adonica Duggan joins us from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
I'm very well as well. Let's talk about the event.
Yeah, we are excited to host our 7th annual Education as a Civil Right next Tuesday, the 24th, at the Shaw Center. And we are just really excited. Over the course of the years, we've had a number of installations, and we're excited to offer this programming this year with a panel and a really cool multimedia exhibit.
This I want to dive a little bit deeper into this because when we talk about civil rights, obviously race comes up as a factor, and well, if we're being honest, we don't have the best track record behind us. And talk to me a little bit about how this program, this event, talks about making sure the past is not the future.
Absolutely. It's broader than the discussion of just race, though. I do want to make sure that people understand
1,000%.
that.
Yes.
So it is both the removal of culture with the Native Americans. It is how we educate girls around the world. It is all the vectors on which education has a connection between liberation and what we want to see in our society as democracy's progress and that sort of thing. So really it's an exploration on what does it mean to have an educated citizenry? How important is that to the thriving of a society? How do we make sure that we're delivering on that promise for everyone? And what are the implications of that as a community as we start to think about the ways that we are delivering on that promise or not?
Yeah, that's where I wanted to follow up on that, Adonica, because I'm sorry. I mentioned race because it's when you hear civil rights, that's the first place your mind is going to go. But it's so much broader than that to talk about. Yeah, you have black or white, you have rich or poor, you have boy versus girl, you have urban versus rural. Honestly, if we're being honest, I mean the priorities are different there too. So there's any one or any multiple number of characteristics that would that break down within that Venn diagram.
Yeah, we're really exploring this conversation over the course of the years has really explored how is it that education and access to a high quality education impacts our ability to thrive as a community. And so we take that apart on a number of different levels. We have experts who represent a number of different parts of that conversation. And every year we try to explore it in a little bit different way. We've had, last year you could do this life-size board game and take a walk in student shoes. We've had that. It was a really neat experience. This year we're doing an exploration over history. It's a multimedia exhibit. And then we're going to have a panel discussion following up with a couple of experts kind of unpacking what we've seen together.
Can we pull back the curtain on the panel, or do folks have to be there for the reveal?
You absolutely have Dr. Curtis Valentine, who has focused in on making sure that boys are educated well. We have Dr. Sarah Becker from LSU, who has explored women's education and really talking about what we've seen in recent years with the rollback of educating women in places like Afghanistan and across the world. And so there's just a lot to unpack there.
We've got Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students on with us. If you want to learn more, it's bralliance.org/EACR if you want to learn more about the event itself. But we've got more to talk about than just this event. So let's pivot over to what's going on right now. What are y'all focused on right now to improve education for ABR public school students?
There's a lot to be focused on as testing time is coming up. But really, right now, we are thinking about how we can make sure that the single biggest thing that we can do to improve the outcomes for students, we're moving the flywheel on this progress that we've made and really investing in educators. And so for us, it's really understanding how this board and this administration is going to make a commitment to ensuring that we have the best educators in front of students and explore this talent workforce challenge that they're having.
How do we get there? I mean, yes, that's the absolute right direction, but how do we get moving in that direction?
It's interesting. About a year ago, SSA Consultants delivered a study to the board that they had done on teacher retention in East Baton Rouge Parish, and it was really challenging. The data was really alarming in terms of how many educators we were losing in those first few years. And they made a recommendation at that time, about a year ago, that the board undertake this comprehensive talent study, make sure that they have aligned their resources in a different way. And so we really feel like it's time for us to circle back to that, make sure that we're continuing to make progress as we go into this budgeting season, make the investments that we need to be making, really understand how we're prioritizing teacher pay, how we're making the right incentive structure to address the challenges that we've seen.
The prioritizing teacher pay is a big one. And I know some work is going on at the Capitol towards making, the raise permanent and whatnot, instead of a stipend every year. And I know they've worked very hard at that. And that's on a statewide level, though. Talk to me a little bit about the difference of how this battle is approached, say, EBR versus the state, or EBR in collaboration with the state.
I think it's definitely both and, right? It's a yes and. So I think there are definitely things that we have seen the state do. They have the state superintendent has his Let Teachers Teach initiative. They've taken away some of the kind of difficult things that make a teacher's job more cumbersome than it should be, and let them focus on the stuff that is most important, which is, making sure that our students are well educated and well served. We've seen, a lot of positive response to the removal of cell phones from schools. That's a part of the Let Teachers Teach initiative. You've seen a lot of work around the discipline, and they've eliminated some of the trainings. At a local level, you can see the superintendents and the board members making decisions about how they prioritize resources. And so how are they making sure that they are putting incentives for their highest staff areas? We are certainly seeing progress post-pandemic. It was really bad. We're seeing progress in those in the vacancies, but in order to make sure that you're addressing your highest need areas, you have some areas that are just harder to staff. Like typically a math class is the hardest class to staff. Science classes are harder to staff. Our special education classes are harder to staff. And so making sure that you're able to create a bonus structure that, prioritizes educators going in those hard to staff areas is something that local school districts can be doing.
It's not always just pay, though, right? I mean, because there's other things that show value, or other things that show that we value them. And this is a big part of the Let Teachers Teach initiative that I like. You talked about knocking down some trainings. There were superfluous trainings that were going on, but if I'm not mistaken, Adonica, a lot more has been moved over towards like, okay, we're going to forget the trainings you don't need and reward you more for the continuing education and the training you do need.
Absolutely. I think that, we know that there are things that we do need educators trained in. Science of reading is a perfect example. We need to make sure that every educator knows how to teach kids how to read, right?
Right.
And so those types of trainings are very important, but it's removing all of the other stuff that just gets crammed into the classrooms. We see this every year at the legislature. Everyone feels like the perfect delivery device for whatever they want young people to have is to put it in a classroom. And so over the years, that just stacks up without the removal of any of those, mandatory trainings or mandatory sessions. And so it was really great that they took a look at what all they were requiring educators to do and said, some of this has just been added on, and we have other ways to accomplish that now. And so we're removing some of those trainings and making sure that every training that we have is very purposeful and a good use of teachers' time.
I remember having this conversation with Dr. Brumley a while ago, and I'm really struggling to come up with an example right now. But I do vividly remember, like, the examples he gave were so egregious. They were just so stupid to think that teachers, quote unquote, needed what they were actually dedicating time towards. The whole Let Teachers Teach initiative, back to basics, not just from a student standpoint, but back to basics from what we're asking of teacher standpoint, has been unbelievably valuable.
I think that's true. And, one thing that you also said is it's about creating the right environment for educators.
Yeah.
So none of us want to go to an environment where we feel like everything gets added to our plate. We don't have the support that we need. And we know that like great principals certainly do not have trouble attracting great educators. So it is making sure that we are creating the environment where educators feel supported to do their best work for students in every classroom. And how do we remove the things that are getting in the way of that?
We got Adonica Duggan on with us from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. You referenced this, Adonica, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. Post-pandemic teacher shortages. I know there was a Louisiana problem and a nationwide problem. You said that things are getting better, but comparatively, is Louisiana digging themselves out of the hole better than our neighbors?
We are not better than our neighbors. We are definitely seeing progress. I think the talent challenge in Baton Rouge is difficult because you're also surrounded by a lot of suburban school districts that are also creating a drain. And frankly, we're just not creating as many educators as we used to. Our higher education schools, our alternative certification programs just aren't producing the number of candidates as we have in previous years. And so while we are making progress, there's still a lot of ground to make up.
Talk with Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students a little bit about what's going on in the education world right now. I want to go back to the making sure teachers are ready, making sure teachers are prepared, and talk about higher education's role in this, or other programs that are out there to help teachers be better teachers.
Yeah, we certainly need to see some investments in recruiting the type of candidates into our higher education programs and also into our alternative certification programs, which tend to be a bigger pipeline now than our traditional routes. But we need to also see that once they get into the classroom outside of that higher education program, that they have those important supports around them in those first few years, because that tends to be where we lose high quality educators. Is those first few years, they're either going to stick or they're not. And a lot of the conditions that we can create to make them successful, whether it's with other mentor teachers, whether it is their administrators having the right leadership training to help support them in those critical first few years. Those are the types of things that we can be doing as a system that better create the chances of success for new educators in the classroom.
How important is it to the conversation to remember that, like, when we're having trouble staffing up on teachers, like literally everybody is having trouble staffing up right now. Talent's an issue across the board, whether you're talking about teachers or pipe fitters or police officers. I mean, this across the board, we've got a talent issue.
Absolutely. And, I talk a lot with our friends at the partnership. And, we think about workforce as an important driver of how we're going to improve Baton Rouge. And I think that is so very true. That means it's even more competitive, because if you have the opportunity to be an educator, what else do you have the opportunity to do? And so we have to think about this as competition. We are in competition for the best and brightest, and we need them in front of our kids every day.
We have got exactly 1 minute left from with Adonica Duggan. I want to just skip to the bottom and talk a little bit about the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students, just the general overview for those that are unfamiliar with y'all as of right now.
Yeah, we are an education nonprofit, and we are focused on keeping students at the center of the conversation around public education in our city and improving outcomes as a way of improving the quality of life for our city.
Learn more at bralliance.org, bralliance.org. She's Adonica Duggan. Love having you on. Always enjoy the conversation.
Great to have you. Great to be with you.
Thank you, Adonica. Talk to you soon. We've got news, traffic, weather on the way. When we come back, it's time for Crimestoppers. It's time to talk to the folks from Eye Care. Before we hit that break, I want to remind you about Mathern's. LSU baseball's on the road this weekend, so we're not going to talk about tailgating, but what we are going to talk about is the Mathern's Rewards program. Download the Mathern's Rewards app. You could use it at any of the 3 stores that are in the Baton Rouge area, downtown on 3rd Street or 3rd and 4th, in the Nichols and Gateway Shopping Center directly across the street from Tiger Stadium, or Highland just west of Kenilworth. The Mathern's Rewards app. Every time you shop, have them scan your little barcode. You start earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop. I use it every time. Unbelievable value. Mathern's. We get a couple of picks and a reel when Dr. Strain's in, please.
Yeah, of course.
Education as a civil right. Let's talk about
Jeffrey Epstein. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. How are you? How are y'all? No, I'm good. All right.
What?
So,
Okay, I Don got it to me.
well,
Unless
okay,
this is
so
new.
No. It's the same one. Probably the same one. It's the same one.
All right.
But I have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
No, I know.
You stand right here. Look, you're gonna stand like here. Because you're gonna see that. He's gonna stand right there. We're gonna go ahead and put a picture. All right, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, and hold on, got you, and hold your breath, and got it. And she's gonna take one.
Yep.
Gotcha. And we're gonna get you to sit right here. All right. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Siobhan, this is Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian, this is Ms. Siobhan from Siobhan Hamilton. Siobhan Hamilton. I pay your.
Very nice to meet you. Do what? I know. When was the last time you were actually on?
Whenever somebody's not here.
That's true. It's been a minute.
I don't show up.
Yeah, our normal video camera busted.
I know.
It freezes up. Yeah, it's been freezing up on us.
And then when I try to reconnect it, it won't recognize it. I'm like,
Oh, goodness.
oh no. High school? McKinley Middle. What's on the news?
Kill mics for a sec.
Missionaries of our city heritage, a connected team, standing not in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments, the hardest times. We teach, heal, pray, and laugh. We do all things with great love. Across our system, we share one belief: providing the best care possible isn't a job, it's our calling. FMOL Health. Even if the end is how we help. For anything you need.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
I'm your proud son of East Louisiana Parish graduate of Jefferson High School, bringing you national perspective with the local heartbeat weekday afternoons at 4. We'll cut through the noise and keep it real on Talk 107.3.
Talk 107.3.
He's well spoken.
Weather.
Eric?
I've
I've never heard his voice before.
We're starting off with some clouds and then some partial afternoon clearing. There will be the chance for some spotty showers today, but any showers we do see overnight lows at 67 degrees. Friday, high temperatures up to 84. It's going to be approaching.
Patrick says, so if the bad foods are so bad as to be SNAP banned but not penalized when purchased by others, does that show the governor loves poor people more? This is exactly why we need to go. And this is what our next segment's going to be for sure. And I'm going to be I'm going to be very unpopular, but that's okay.
Well, there's a lot of layers we can go into with this, you know?
Well, yeah. 736 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along with our Crime Stopper segment. Coming up in just a quick minute, I do need to remind you about One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, onebathandclosets.com. 400-8005 is the phone number. If you live in a house, and a lot of Baton Rouge is like this, like my house is built in the 60s, right? Sherwood, Broadmoor, the subdivision could go on and on of houses that were built anywhere from the 60s to the 80s or 90s. Your bathroom's going to be out of date. Your closets were not built for today's functionality. Get yourself up to speed with a little bit of renovation within. Christy and I, we decided to do this last year. This was our Christmas present to each other. We called David Duvall and his team at One Bath and Closets, got them out there. We redid our master bathroom and have been unbelievably pleased with the results, except for the fact that the kids want to use our shower now instead of theirs. But other than that, it has been absolute perfection. A bathroom that was built in 1960 is not built for 2026. Call David Duvall and his team at One Bath and Closets. They will bring you up to speed. And the same is true for your closet. Oh, by the way, the functionality is completely different now. onebathandclosets.com. All right, time for Crime Stoppers. Let's go. I got to question the timing on this topic today. I mean, we come out of Valentine's Day and we're already talking teen dating violence. I want to welcome Siobhan Hamilton on board from iCare. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Glad to have you on here. I'm actually glad to be talking about this because this is something that needs to be out in the open.
Right.
When it comes to teen dating violence. I would imagine, this is where we start, I would imagine there's a lot of similarities and yet a lot of differences between teen dating violence and domestic violence. How do you, what's the difference there?
Well, teen dating violence, it differs from domestic violence. Teen dating violence is abusive behavior. Of course, that happens between teenagers in abusive relationships, typically between the ages of 13 and 19, whereas with adults, it's much older. The differences may be, as domestic violence, there's financial implications with adults, whereas with teenagers, it may differ. It mostly occurs online, face-to-face, at school, whereas with domestic violence, it's mostly in the home with adult partners.
But to follow up on that, though, I would imagine most of it's learned behavior. Those who have seen the domestic violence at home take it to the teen violence in the dating scene. And the only reason it's not at home is because they don't live together yet, right? I mean, there would be similarities too.
Right. So especially with teens and dating, there's this new 24/7 access to each other with social media and being online, being at school. Sometimes, being at school more so than you're at home. So it's a little bit different with teens because there's a higher level of expectation now with social media because there's 24 access to harass, to bully, to pressure someone into doing something.
Does that open up the door to say that it doesn't exactly have to be physical violence to be violence?
Absolutely. It does not have to be physical violence.
Walk us down that path real quick, what that looks like.
So with the mental aspect, rather than the physical aspect of dating violence, it is coercion, intimidation, control. So if a dating partner is especially clingy to that partner, they start to, want to isolate that partner from everyone else. So it becomes a mental process at that point because the isolation can bring on severe depression, anxiety, which leads to, potential suicide risk, self-harm, those type things. So the mental aspect is far more just as damaging as the psychological is far more damaging as the physical.
How common is this? How common is
it's very common in teen dating violence. Usually, with statistics show that 1 in 3 U.S. teens have been in a situation of teen dating violence. It also indicates that 1 in 11 females in a high school situation has been sexually abused.
Really?
Yes. It's a little bit lower for males, but it also tends to happen in males as well. 1 in 15 high school males has been in a domestic teen violent dating situation.
This sort of thing baffles me. I'm so far removed from anything in the trenches on this one. Number one, because that's like not how I would raise my kids on either side.
Right.
So let's talk about for a parent's perspective. Are there warning signs out there that the parent should be on the lookout for, that their kids might be walking down the wrong path?
Sure, absolutely. So, with iCare, us seeing students every day and being around them, as well as parents, it's sort of, the signs may be so subtle because you see someone every day. But the biggest red flag would be for parents to look out for would be changes in personality, hygiene changes, the need to want to withdraw from the family or activities that you're doing. So grades dropping, irritability is a really big sign that, something serious could be going on. And these would be sudden changes. They could be subtle changes. The subtle changes are really the ones that we really need to pay attention to because it's a gradual process. So I think, so for parents, I think they should have that conversation if it pops up, and it's tough to have that conversation, but having that conversation, watching television together.
Okay.
You see a couple on television. You're concerned about your daughter or your son in a dating relationship. Hey, look, that's a great relationship. They're watching Friends or something. And, Rachel, and, you think that's right what he said to her? Just sort of open up the conversation with maybe social media, who are you following now? Just to start to get those conversations going so that hopefully your young adult, your child will open up to you.
Well, let's talk about those conversations because look, as a dad, talking about dating with kids, this can very quickly get uncomfortable, but even more so, not in the fact that you don't want to talk about it, but you don't want to push them away.
Absolutely.
You don't want to start the conversation in a way that causes a shutdown on their end, or you don't understand.
Right.
You don't want to go down that path. So how do you approach the conversation?
Well, first of all, avoid criticizing, right? Immediately share your concerns with your child. Don't have a dismissive reaction, right? Don't dismiss their feelings. Oh, it's just a teenage crush or something like that, right? And avoid acting like an interrogator, right? So you can keep those lines of communication open. And it's difficult as a parent myself, right? I've not experienced that personally, but as a parent myself, or speaking with young people, young students in the school system, it's about trust, right? So you have to establish that caring and that trust, right, to get them to open up to you without being judgmental.
The difficult part, I think probably the most difficult part as a parent is the want to be overly protective.
Of course.
And that is where the backlash can tend to happen. But at the same time, though, is there a time to just drop the hammer and say, no, we're done here. You are still my child and this relationship's over on the other side?
Absolutely. Especially if there has been evidence of physical, emotional violence towards your child. Of course, there's a time to reach out to the school system, law enforcement, just to put an end to that relationship. We all know teenagers can be defiant. The more we push, the less they, they're more resistant. So at some point, absolutely, if there's any thoughts of suicide, or, you see that your child is self-harming themselves, absolutely, there's a time to step in and draw a fine line as a parent.
We're talking with Siobhan Hamilton from iCare. And I know when you see signs of physical violence,
absolutely.
I know that almost every dad out there is like, well, that's when I'm going to have to arrest me. No, because then you're not around. You're in prison now, and you're not around to continue to help guide your child along the way. Let's talk about the school's role here. Does the school have a role in stepping in?
Absolutely, we have a role of stepping in. So with iCare, we have monthly campaigns, and this is Teen Domestic Violence is one of our monthly campaigns, right? So we are in the schools. We during our campaign month, especially for this particular month, and any month, there are promotional items. We have PSAs, guest speakers, assemblies, lunch and learns to pass out any information that a student may need. We've had students that we speak with who want to speak with us one-on-one at that point because it opens up the door, because they realize, oh, hey, I'm in a situation like that. So we in the schools, we are pushing out our information, and we're getting feedback from students. We actually, work with students who are going through these issues.
I would imagine, so the parents' role is pretty clearly defined. The school's role is there, but I would imagine the role of the peers, the role of the friends would be probably the biggest one.
Right. So just as Crimestoppers and with iCare, we promote and we, push students to, if you see something, say something, right? We give the same advice that I would give a parent if a student came to me, as far as I have a friend who's, experiencing this. We want to train them to not be a bystander, but to speak up and say something. So just as Crimestoppers, we, you see something, you say something. That's why we build that trust, so students will come to us and speak up, so we can help another student, or even help that student who said it's a friend of mine and it's really them.
Let's talk about that too. And we got 2.5 minutes left, so we're going to squeeze a whole lot in here. I'll talk with Siobhan Hamilton about teen dating violence. We got iCare on with us. All right, so let's say your kid's friend is the one being abused in a physical manner. Your kid comes to you and says, this is happening. What is my advice back to my kid to help their friend out?
Well, I would advise my child to help their friend by, having an open conversation. Don't judge.
Right.
We're going to assume that it's all true. We're not going to judge. And I'm just going to give my child that advice to say, hey, look, you need to get your friend to open up, to speak to an adult, talk to their parents, right? Because that's where it's going to start, right?
Yep.
If my child comes back to me constantly not getting any help, or it's not working, then as a parent, I would step in to assist this other student, this other child, my friend's child, by speaking to their parents, speaking to this child.
Are there resources available out there? Where can teens go locally? Where can parents go locally if they want to learn more?
Well, first of all, iCare, because we're in the schools, right? So we're there on the front lines every day. There's the YMCA, specifically the North Boulevard location, the Baton Rouge Crisis Center, BRPD, the Sexual Trauma Awareness Center is available. And then the national domestic hotline, which is 1-800-799-SAFE. And then there's the National Dating Abuse Hotline, 1-866-311-9474.
It can be an uncomfortable conversation to have, an uncomfortable path to walk, but it gets even worse, more detrimental if you don't walk the path. If you don't have the uncomfortable conversation, the results are far, far worse. She is Siobhan Hamilton from iCare. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're coming up on 7:50 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Don't forget, as a reminder, tonight right here on Talk 107.3 FM, it's LSU versus Ole Miss. Kim Mulkey's Tigers are looking to get back at it. We will have Patrick Wright and Shaida Williams on the call. LSU versus number 17 Ole Miss tonight on Talk 107.3.
I'm early.
Okay.
I'm early. Sorry. I'm early.
Well, I thought I had it.
No, you did.
See?
All right. Very good job. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
That was a wonderful job. Great job.
Okay. Here's your pin, sweetie. Oh, thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
All right.
See
Nice to
everybody
meet
next
you.
month.
Very nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, see y'all next month.
Okay. Right. Okay.
We'll see y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah. Is what it is.
Let me move this mic down.
Oh.
Yeah, just push it down. Yeah, there we go. Joe Biden.
It turns out liberal Letlow has a lot of common with Nancy Pelosi, too. You see, like Pelosi, liberal Letlow has made big money in Congress and traded hundreds of stocks. Here's the bigger problem. Federal law requires members of Congress, like Julia Letlow, to disclose their stock trades publicly to prevent insider trading. But Congresswoman Julia Letlow broke that federal law, and she broke it a lot. In fact, liberal Letlow failed to
Liberal
disclose
Letlow,
Congress's
oh my
stock
God.
trades. A clear violation of insider trading laws. Voting with Biden, getting rich like Pelosi, breaking federal law. Is that what Louisiana wants in the U.S. Senate? Conservatives just can't trust liberal Julia Letlow. Louisiana Freedom Fund Pay Board is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. LouisianaFreedomFund.org.
Banking shouldn't be complicated, and my friends at Gulf Coast Bank and Trust aim to make it feel like a breeze. As one of the largest locally owned banks, they offer the digital capabilities that help make my day-to-day banking convenient and secure with the heart and personal service of the community bank. Get to know Gulf Coast Bank and Trust and coast into better banking. Member FDIC.
Moon Griffon.
Yeah, I know people are you think he's smart. I don't think I'm smart. That's what's saying. I don't think I'm smart. I'm just watching stuff that naturally has to happen in a positive way, but things can turn out positive. It's like running up debt. All that or that. Oh, that's stupid. When it blows up again, it's a man. No, what negative? Who was trying to tell you? You've got people who claim to be conservative Republicans, and this is what they give us.
Catch Moon Griffon weekdays from 9 to noon on Talk 107.3. Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
It's about a 45-minute drive on westbound I-10 from Highway to the bridge as things continue to improve after our earlier issue on LA1 involving the stop train was cleared. So it's getting better. It's just not happening very quickly. Meantime, we're seeing some spillover onto I-12 as well. That's a 27-minute drive from Juba to the 10-12 split. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Whoever said opposite the track was definitely talking about the new spicy menu at DQ. Spicy flamethrower chicken strip served with a chip of sweet DQ soft serve. Sounds wrong, but tastes so right. The new spicy menu at DQ. Happy tastes good. For limited time at participating locations.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Brandon Hoffman here. Pick your color, pick your size. EliteWindows.com.
7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got our Ag Commissioner, Dr. Mike Strain, coming up in our next hour. Very much looking forward to that. We got a lot of ground to cover with Dr. Strain. Before we get to that, though, I want to revisit a story that was in our top stories and trending, okay? Under new rules for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, the program will no longer pay for non-nutritional foods. I'm getting this version of the story from our news partners over at WBRZ. Tobacco, alcohol, and hot prepared foods were already restricted. Starting yesterday, though, candy, soft drinks, and energy drinks will be restricted for the program for those who receive the government assistance in buying their groceries. I want your take over on our Facebook Live feed as well. Is this a good idea or not? It's in there and approved for the next couple of years that this restriction is going to stick around. But is this a good idea or not? Yes or no? Post up on our Facebook Live. Breland, what's your gut tell you about this?
As a mom, I get it, wanting the kids to eat healthier because I always try to get a vegetable in with our meals every night. But here's the deal. We're not addressing the bigger issue.
Which is what?
Fix the part where fruits and veggies cost twice as much as Doritos.
Yeah.
You got to make healthy food. Because as a mom, I get it. Burning the candle at both ends, soccer practice, all the things. It's easy for us to go in and get quick and easy meals.
Right.
Sodas, which I know I might get backlash for that. Doritos, whatever. But
hang on, but
in general, if they made it cost friendly, I don't know. I'm on the other end, Brian.
Here's where I'm at from a number of different perspectives. Number one, yes, a 2 liter of Coke costs less than a gallon of milk. I understand that completely. But you know what costs less than a 2 liter of Coke? Turning on your tap and drinking water.
Very true.
Okay?
Very true.
Drink water. Water is going to be the healthiest thing you can put in your body all day long. That's number one. And it costs you, well, as far as SNAP benefits are concerned, it doesn't drain those at all. So if you get rid of the Coke, go to the water, you're going to be healthier. Why do I care about, or why do I have a say over your health? I honestly don't. But if we're going to look at it through this lens, we need to look at it through the lens of, if the taxpayers are picking up the tab for your health care, the taxpayers should have a say in what you put in your body.
You bring up a very good point.
If you are on SNAP benefits, you are likely of a lower income. If you are of a lower income, you are likely on Medicaid. So are you draining the Medicaid dollars because of diabetes? Are you draining the Medicaid dollars because you're putting yourself on a path towards heart disease? If you're increasing the likelihood that you are going to be a burden on the Medicaid system, a drain on the Medicaid system, shouldn't something be done on the front end?
I did not expect you to go there. You have a very good point. Very good point.
So I'm an overweight guy. I'm a fat guy. I understand that. Working on it, right? But I'm fat on my own dime. And my health care is on my dime and the company's dime.
See, Renee, she has a good point. She says, I think hot meals should be available. Absolutely.
I agree with that too. And wasn't there a push to add the rotisserie chicken to it?
I think at one point there was. You could buy a rotisserie chicken.
So that absolutely needs to be included. Oh, by the way, but if you zoom out, what's crazy is 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the right was on the other side of this. When Michael Bloomberg was mayor of New York and he wanted to ban big gulps, and everybody said, you have no right to put a stop to what I drink. Well, if you're taking in 44 ounces of sugar, you're doing yourself harm on the back end. Now, that was on their own dime, but this is on the government dime. This is SNAP benefits. These are taxpayers paying for your food. So if taxpayers are paying for your food now, are we getting the best ROI on that food? Are you your healthiest? Are you your most effective? Are you your best version of yourself? Food is fuel. Are you putting the best fuel in your body? No.
You bring up a good point, though. And I can see both sides.
Yeah, same. Because we're all strapped for time. Let's talk about it more over on Facebook Live on air. Here's news. Text from a friend. We'll just call him John. Doritos are $6 a bag. A bag of carrots is $1.99.
You know what? Okay. Huh. All right, John. I stand corrected. I get it. I was looking from an angle, convenience and time, but I see John's point.
No, convenience is a big part of this.
Yeah.
Convenience is a very big part of this. But also when it comes to convenience, you're more often than not talking about hot food. And with SNAP, you're talking about the grocery store trip.
Yeah.
Right. With SNAP, you're talking about the grocery store trip. When you're talking about getting the kids from practice, from this practice to that practice, or from this extracurricular to that extracurricular. And oh, by the way, I've got to go to a meeting tonight too. We're just getting McDonald's. That's not SNAP.
Right.
So,
and if you plan it better, which a whole nother can of worms, you can meal prep on Sundays.
When you plan it better and you're in the grocery store, that's where the SNAP benefits come in.
Right.
There he is.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How was your Mardi Gras?
It was good. I went home. I made it home for Mardi Gras.
Oh.
That was a good thing.
Well, yeah, it was a big trip.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it.
Yes. It took us. Oh, it always takes a couple of days to get home.
So, you know the tradition in the Haldane house for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is when we begin our crawfish season.
Oh, wonderful.
So we skip the rat race of trying to find a reservation somewhere, and I just bring home crawfish. And well, now that the girls are old enough that they enjoy the crawfish as well, it's starting to cost as much as a restaurant anyway. So,
That's cool.
Crawfish already boiled for Valentine's Day, $130 to feed the family. Oh my word, 4 of us.
$40 a piece.
Hmm.
What's the average like right now?
Well, it's $9 a pound is what we're paying for boiled. Yeah.
Well,
I was going to say,
maybe there's an
it
issue.
will go down, right?
There's an issue.
That recent freeze?
No, they can't get the people to feel the crawfish. So our crawfish should be okay, but the peeled crawfish, I mean.
Oh, I don't want peeled. I just want boiled.
I know. That's what kind of makes the whole thing work. You know, the HGTV workers. So that's the crisis to your up to date that we're going to be working on later today, which is it is the most ridiculous thing in the world where you have to go through all this, and they've been working to get these workers. You know, they more than 6 months. You know, so yeah. Well, you know, when you want crawfish and you want them early, because it is early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. But they will come down. We're gonna, you know, Easter's around the corner. It's right here.
Yeah.
And they'll start coming down. So yeah, so I left Abidjan in Cote d'Ivoire, which is West Africa, on a Friday. Is it Friday? Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I got to my home Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Yeah.
Wow.
I did have a few hours layover at JFK, but they canceled my plane at 5 a.m. the next morning.
Oh,
Not
no.
Delayed.
Canceled.
So that started the next journey. We had to go from there. We were able to finally rebook some tickets out of LaGuardia for a one-way home, and that's how we got home. Yeah. So transferred from JFK to LaGuardia and got on a plane by the hair of our chins. Right?
That's
yes.
JFK LaGuardia is not an easy.
No, Delta paid for an Uber, so they got us an Uber, and we Ubered.
That's like a $200 Uber.
Yeah.
I don't know what Uber rates are in.
You are in New York City, New York, right? Yeah. So going from the time I left home to the time I laid down and closed my eyes was 36 hours.
Wow.
And when we got, when we landed, it was like 11:30 in Abidjan, and we went through. They ushered us through customs. The government did, and then the charge d'affaires, which is the U.S. equivalent to the ambassador, our person, met us right in the, right as we came out through security, and we went and got in his armored vehicles with him, with the escort to go to the hotel, which was protected and guarded. And so it was so we got in those armored vehicles and we're going through West Africa. So you know what? I told Doc, we're not in Kansas no more, but it was safe. It was safe.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it was just,
we got to hop in.
Okay.
806 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the 8 o'clock hour at 72 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pro studio. Of course, we will continue to have our traffic updates throughout the hour. This hour, as I-10 has been an absolute mess thanks to a train in Port Allen. It has been brutal out there. In fact, glad to see that our next guest, Dr. Mike Strain, I was able to make it all the way in already, so he'll be coming up in our next segment. Right now, though, we've got This Day in History.
Have you seen the new movie JFK? Have you seen JFK with Ron Harrelson? The new JFK, not JFK, LBJ. What am I saying?
No, I'm not.
You need to see it.
All right, way back in the year 1807, U.S. Vice President Aaron Burr was arrested in Alabama for treason and later acquitted.
What? Aaron Burr. You remember that Got Milk commercial?
Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he the one that shot Alexander Hamilton?
Yeah, there was
in a duel.
So there
in
was
a duel.
Yes.
Yes.
This
in
was
a duel. Yes.
I know about this
in a duel. Yes.
I know about this because of milk.
Yeah.
There was, remember the Got Milk campaign?
Yes.
So that one of their commercials was this guy's listening to the radio and he's eating a peanut butter sandwich. And the radio asks the trivia questions like, we got $1 million for the first person who can answer who shot Alexander Hamilton. And the guy, like, he calls in the radio show, but he didn't have any milk, so he's eating a peanut butter sandwich, but he didn't have any milk, so he goes, because his mouth is full of peanut butter. And of course, they can't understand him. And then it says, got milk.
Never saw it.
So Hamilton fired his pistol in the air, which is of the day, which would have satisfied, the duel. And Aaron Burr leveled off, squeezed, and killed him.
Yep.
1878, Thomas Edison is granted a patent for the phonograph, the first device to record and play back sound.
Yeah.
Looky now.
I know, right?
1945, U.S. Marines begin the Battle of Iwo Jima, one of the most intense battles of World War II. Let's see. 1963, the Soviets withdraw troops. Informing JFK, it is withdrawing several thousand troops from Cuba.
Okay.
1987, U.S. President Reagan lifts trade boycott against Poland. In 2008, Fidel Castro steps down as president of Cuba after nearly 50 years in power.
Yep.
And then 2019, Bernie Sanders announced he was running for president for a second time.
How'd that work out?
What else you got, Brian?
As far as this day in history, nothing.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Notable birthdays today. Let me see. Let me scroll all the way back.
Oh, no.
Wait, what? What
Look
happened?
whose birthday it is.
Yours?
Dr. Dre.
No. Oh, how would you like to get arrested on your birthday?
What?
I never like to get arrested.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is his birthday today.
And wait, he's getting arrested
happy birthday.
today?
Oh, yeah, for the Epstein stuff.
I've been out of the country.
Oh, that's right. You have been.
He's been traveling. Our commissioner's been traveling.
Yeah, they have their own newspaper, and it's in French. And so I don't read French very well. So I had to get an interpreter. We never talked about that. He's arrested by whom? The British government?
Yeah. His own brother.
Y'all.
I mean, really, it's his own brother,
king?
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his brother's the king.
Oh, wow.
So.
Mercy.
Wow.
Well, Dr. Dre is 61 today. Vanna White, 69, still looking beautiful as ever.
Wait, Dr. Dre is 61?
That's what it says.
And Vanna White is how old?
69 years old.
That can't be.
That can't be.
Hold on.
I'm not trusting.
Can't be.
I don't trust her math at all.
No.
Wait,
No. I trust you, but like, wow.
How old is Dr. Dre? It says he's 69 years old. I mean, 61, excuse me.
And Vanna White is 8 years older than Dr.
Yes.
Dre. That doesn't make sense.
That don't make any sense.
This year I'll have my 50-year high school reunion. How'd that happen?
I don't know.
50 years? That's half a century.
All right, who else you got?
Copernicus. It's Nicholas Copernicus's birthday. It is Unbelievable Clown Show Roger Goodell's birthday as well.
Let's see.
Sorry, no love for Goodell.
Notable deaths today. Harper Lee, known for How to Kill a Mockingbird or To Kill a Mockingbird, excuse me.
That was quite
a,
how you say, a racy film at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Bon Scott, lead singer of AC/DC, passed away at age 33, but it is his birthday today. Johnny Paycheck. I mean, his birthday. Notable deaths, Johnny Paycheck passed away on his day.
Want to take his birthday and shove it, huh? Hey, back to birthdays. It's Smokey Robinson's birthday, too.
Okay. All right. Let me see. National Day today.
Now we're talking about some good music.
Tug of War Day.
What?
And Texas Cowboy Poetry Day.
I don't know what that even means.
I don't either.
I need explanation.
Well, the lyrics are a little different than what you might imagine.
Right. Yeah, no, it's
add a little twang to it.
Exactly.
I had to look up once again Dr. Dre, another article. Yes, he is 61 years old today. Ain't no way. He looks young.
Good. It happens.
Commissioner over here.
I wish I was 61 again. I was hell when I was 61.
Vanna White is 69 though. Like, I don't know why I thought she was older.
But she still looks so good, y'all.
Oh no, absolutely. Okay, this is gonna sound awful. You know
Go
what?
ahead.
I shouldn't. No.
Are you gonna have to go to confession for this?
Probably.
He already did. He
No,
got his
I-
ashes yesterday.
I got mine
did
too.
the whole thing. I did
We'll
the whole
probably have
thing
to go
earlier.
back today, see if they have any left.
Yeah, no, it's. We did a whole thing earlier in the show that's going to send me right back to confession. So since I'm going anyway, Vanna White, she looks amazing, but it's less impressive because she's not 70. Does that?
Yeah, and I got to be honest, she's showing her age. I mean, she looks beautiful.
What?
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but she's showing her age. You know,
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
all
I am
can't run
too. Hell.
marathons at 70.
Right. All right. By the way, can we either get her a job or just can we go back to her actually turning letters? Like she has the most useless job on the planet right now. She touches a letter and it turns around.
And can I be honest?
What?
While we're at it, can we feed Ryan Seacrest a cheeseburger? He's looking sick, man.
He looks more and more like Willem Dafoe every day.
It's true. Have you seen him? Mike Strain, have you seen Ryan Seacrest?
No.
Yeah.
He looks rough, man.
Really?
He needs to eat.
He doesn't translate to French.
Well, he
either.
needs to come here, right?
Yeah, we'll feed him
it's
some
Lent,
crawfish.
Right?
Yeah.
Come eat some crawfish, some crab, a little etouffee.
We can
right?
get that
Gumbo
done. I know.
With some
Lenten
beautiful
sacrifice.
white rice. Lenten sacrifice. Yes. I think I'm a sacrifice every day, right?
Yeah.
It's seafood time.
Not just on
right?
Fridays.
I had some wonderful shrimp salad yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good start, right? It's a good start. Yeah.
We are due up for a break. Before we take that break, can I remind you about the folks over at Neurojust? Neurojust.com is where you're going to find them online. You can find their phone number and their physical address while you're there. If you or someone you know is battling with anxiety or depression, you need to give Neurojust a look. If you or someone you know has been thus far treatment resistant, you really need to give Neurojust a look. They specialize in what's called transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is a therapy that really targets the part of the brain that affects mood. Think of it more like physical therapy for your brain. If you like, let's say you hurt your knee, you pop a couple ibuprofen for the pain, but it's not fixing the damage you did to your knee. Same thing with your mind. You could take the antidepressants all day long, but you're not fixing what was wrong. I do an okay job of explaining it. They do a much better job of explaining it. Check it out at neurojust.com. And oh, by the way, insurance does pick up the tab for this. Neurojust.com.
How'd we go from that to that?
Because it's what's on my log.
I know, but
Yeah.
Brian Seacrest looks sick. I'll give Neurojust a call.
Give him a call. They are working on a ultrasound treatment, and it is being peer reviewed for Alzheimer's disease and other those. Yeah. So yeah, an ultrasound that breaks.
Prince Andrews? I'm like, I guess so.
That was what was supposed to have happened. Yeah.
Damn.
That's what the news was saying this morning.
He's been asleep. God bless him.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yes.
New York Post, ex-Prince Andrew arrested on his birthday over Epstein allegations. Washington Post, former Prince Andrew arrested on suspicion of misconduct in office.
I'll just hold it.
Yeah, at least he has his brother, the king. But you know what the queen's response to everything if you messed up, huh?
What? Yeah.
Off with the head.
Yep.
I've actually stood on the ground where there at the Tower of London, right where all the executions were, at Jane. There's a whole group of them, and they would bury them in the church. There's a little church there without their heads.
Really?
Absolutely. They would bury them. Yeah, there. And then the heads were buried. Some undisclosed location. But yes, Anne Boleyn and about 7 more.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't mess up back then. You didn't even have to mess up back then, right?
No, you should be accused of messing up.
Or just, the king's agenda was different.
Right.
Yes.
$8:17, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Time for one of our favorite segments that we have, like throughout the month. It's time for a little farm to table. Farm to studio. You would think I'd get it right, Bound. It's farm to studio, not farm to table. I messed that up.
Well, that's okay.
I messed that up.
That's okay. You can go back to confession again today.
Well, I tell you what.
Poor priest, right? we messed up so much.
I mean, yesterday was you got your ashes yesterday?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes,
did he get you good?
What's that?
Did he get you good?
Well, of course.
There's always have you seen the flow chart of the different, the different designs and whatnot?
No. They're supposed to make a nice cross, not supposed to be the Knight's Cross.
Well,
or the even better, the Irish. Now, what happens if you go to an Irish priest? You can put the Irish
with
cross
a circle around the Celtic cross?
The Celtic cross. I love those.
You would have to have a priest with a lot of skill and B, a patient line waiting behind you.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll pull up the there's a whole chart of like how the priest gets you with like 9 different, like you either get the big smudge.
I get no.
The light smear.
That's right.
I'll find it during break. We got too much to tend to right now. How are you, sir?
I am well. I'm coming through my jet lag. Yesterday I was a little under the weather, and I don't know whether it's from the jet lag or the malaria medicine I'm still taking. Because you start that before you go and you continue it. It's a 15 days to keep you from getting malaria, and so it makes you tired. But it was a very intense journey, and I think we did a lot of good. And as we are now, that is, as we call it, that's the recon, the first visit where we go and meet everyone and get to know everyone and then see what is there, see what's available, for trade both ways. And then we go back with the next delegations where we start putting the deals together.
Right.
And in between, we start working on the memorandums of understanding, gathering up the next group to go, which will be port officials, industry officials, people that can buy and sell the different commodities, as well as I will bring some legislators and other staff with me.
Mm-hmm.
And as we go there to start inking the deals and increase trade.
This, by the way, is a recent trip that our ag commissioner took to Africa.
Yes.
So
to West Africa.
West Africa.
Yes,
so let's talk a little bit about let's talk about the trip itself, because this is a place that not a whole lot of people get to go.
Very few people have been. So it's Côte d'Ivoire, which is the Ivory Coast, and Abidjan, which was the capital city, but it's the largest city there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, generally speaking, to get there takes at least 24 hours. It's, so you fly from here. I flew out of New York, out of JFK, and then it's like a 11-hour flight. And we took Ethiopian Airlines, which on 787. I've flown on those a few times, and they are big. They are big birds.
Mm-hmm.
And we left New Orleans at about 10 a.m. in the morning, and then we went to JFK and directly flew. So we got to Abidjan about 11:30 a.m. their time, and we were met by the government officials who brought us straight off the airplane and into the airport. And then at the airport we were met by the charge d'affaires, our person, Jay Munyon, who is a great guy, as well as Harold Doley, which is the honorary ambassador. And we were put into the U.S. Embassy vehicles, which are armored vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And we were brought then to the U.S. Embassy there to the residence of the U.S. ambassador for a lunch and a pre-briefing. That's where it starts. And then from there, we went and met with the ambassador Toure, who is from Abidjan and Côte d'Ivoire to the United States, and he's out of Washington. Then we started our official meetings. So then we had 6 hours of meetings. And so by the time we laid our heads down, say 7:30 p.m. West Africa time, we had been in motion 36 hours. And I can tell you that I slept like a rock. And then the next morning it starts over again at promptly either 7 or 8 a.m., depending on what you're doing for the day. And you start your meetings, with all the different ministers, Minister of Education, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Trade and Affairs, their minister in charge of technology. And of course, then we went and did a physical visit to the port, and that we went to a place where they're importing wheat and making flour. And we had Dr. Bagley from Southern University, was myself, my confidential assistant Todd Parker, who handles our federal affairs and and these trade missions, and Dr. Bagley from Southern. And so we were there, working. We went to a chocolate factory there, which is a big deal.
No, the cocoa,
60% of the world's cocoa comes through the Ivory Coast.
Yes.
Comes out of 60% of the world's cocoa. A large, significant portion of it's coffee, significant portion of it's cashews. We had one day where we call it person-to-person meetings, where industry officials come and we sit down and talk about everything from cashews to cocoa to coffee, to their animal husbandry. And Dr. Bagley went out and to their major university and visited with them. So the whole goal is to understand, what do you need? So we went into the grocery stores and we looked to see, okay, what can we do? What do you need from us? And what can we import from you to start that two-way trade? When you talk about the Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, there's about 41 million people there. West Africa is 400 million people. They're discovering oil. They have oil. They have oil in Nigeria. They have oil in the Ivory Coast, and that can provide additional cash. And everywhere you go, you see cranes in the sky. They're building buildings. They're building sport arenas. They are doing work at their ports. They are rebuilding their country. They had a civil war, and that ended about 6+ years ago. And now they have a republic. So it's a democracy, and they have elections, and they built a new parliament building. They also built the largest basilica in the world, and it is Catholic. And that is in their capital city, the new capital. It is larger than a basilica at Rome. I haven't been there yet. I've seen the photographs, but we will go and tour that. And so they are working very, 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 very hard, and to bring their country, into the modern world. And so they're reaching out, to us, and we went on their invitation for mutual exchange. They need rice.
They need rice?
They need rice. That's right. And look, I'm in the business of selling rice around the world.
Darn right you are.
They need chicken, right? And look, we have a huge poultry industry. I didn't see a single building made out of wood. Everything's concrete. So
really?
They had look. So you know what they need?
What?
They need wood, right? They need timber. And the main.
Well, see, that amazes me though, considering where they are. They don't have their own timber.
No. And they wait. There's very little to no wood left. You don't see any smoke. They're not burning wood anywhere. It's gone, and it's very dry there. So you're not thinking about, the rainforest type of situation. You think about sub-Saharan Africa.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very, very dry.
You're too far north to be the rainforest.
Right.
Part.
And most of the wood has already been used up. So very little timber. Every once in a while you might see a 2x4 somewhere holding something up, but that's it. Right. And so the main thing they use is concrete and cement. And I will tell you, the buildings they're building them right. They are steel reinforced and using high-grade concrete and good engineering and moving that. So what you have to think about is Abidjan, like you would think of Hong Kong or Singapore. It's the gateway, right? It's the gateway into West Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. And so if you're there, and that's where the trade moves in and out. So we were, the Ambassador Torre was excellent. And you have, Harold Dooley, who is out of New Orleans, and he's an American citizen, but he's the honorary ambassador, and he's an international banker. And of course, you have our charge d'affaires. We had people from our embassies, USDA officials were with us the whole time. And so it was really, really good. They, everyone made all of this come together. But this is, it's like the work we're doing now in the United Kingdom, or the work we've been doing for many years in Cuba and other areas. It's a continuum, right? Where we put these deals together. And if you think about the importance, right before this year's harvest of rice, our bins were full of last year's rice.
Okay.
Arkansas had last year's rice sitting in barges on the river, nowhere to move it. While I was in Africa, I get a call from my friend Mark Poussin, who runs the Lacassing facility, which is the big co-op. He said, we have sold all of it. 2 years worth of it. That's all of it. The last ship, he said, I've just loaded the last ship. He's been successful. This was like the 5th ship in 6 months. Each ship carries 22,000 metric tons. And so when you look at that, each ship represents those size ships. And that's the size ship they can take in West Africa, in the harbor.
So when he says he sold all of it, he sold all of it to Africa?
No.
Oh.
He sold everything in our bins.
Right.
Because we've been working, those bins are critical, and we're investing in the Port of Lake Charles. So we are now moving, Louisiana rice, and we're getting a premium for Louisiana rice over other states, 25 to 35 cents per hundredweight, because we have higher quality, consistency. That's a big deal. Consistency. And they can choose what varieties they want, because we put in separate bins, and we can send them exactly what they want. And, when you start looking at different groups, if they want the right aromatic rice, they want a specific one. If they want a specific rice for sushi, they want that one. If they want a specific medium grain or long grain, they don't want it blended. They want it, and they want high quality, the highest quality, and it's fresh. Yeah. And so we can give them exactly what they want. And I brought over, we brought over quite a bit of rice that we bought. It was in packs along with some other, certified Louisiana gifts, but with the rice. And so look, here is our parish rice, developed by the Ag Center, high protein, low glycemic rice. It's like, they look like, wow, what? So yes, high protein, low glycemic rice. And so we're going to start trying to sell that.
Do they necessarily need low glycemic from a health perspective, or just whether we're selling? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, yes and no. I will tell you that in general, right, there were not a lot of people that you would say were kind of like you and I, a little on the heavy side.
Well, that's why
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they have a propensity towards diabetes.
Okay.
Right. And so this is good. They need protein, and then we went to where the McGovern Dole rice is shipped out into West Africa and it goes to school children, right? And it's fortified with iron because they have iron deficiency there.
Okay.
And it was Farmer's Rice Mill.
We need a break. We're going to pick it back up because we're going to get to not just what we're sending them, but what we might be bringing home on the back end of the break. He's Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain. We do Farm to Studio roughly once a month. We try our best to get it in once a month. Always a whole lot of conversation to be had. Yes, we will talk Lent. Yes, we will talk seafood, but more on the trip to Africa after this.
Very good. And then I have Senate Finance today. Would you go for me?
Yeah.
You my friend?
Yeah. No, I would.
Good.
I would be happy to go to Senate Finance today, except that I have to go read at an elementary school. So every chance I get,
the difference is?
The kids listen.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
So yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, we do a volunteers post. It's through Rotary Club. The Vips rolls through Rotary Club every once in a while. And
I went and did one
match
time
up with my schedule.
The Cat in the Hat. I'm reading the Cat, and I had to wear the hat. Right? You have to wear the hat if you read the Cat in the Hat. You've got to read the Cat in the Hat, right? Yeah,
1,000%.
Absolutely. Kids are wonderful. Yeah, kids of all ages.
No, so I've read to them a couple times. One time, teacher just left. She's like, "You take over."
You got it. Yeah.
And
Like, no, don't leave me.
But like, didn't have a book for me to read. Had me do their lessons. So like, I taught ELA for like an hour.
Yeah. Wow.
I have no idea if I did good or not. But
did you ever see that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he's the substitute teacher, like in kindergarten or first grade?
Well, Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, and he comes in that first day and he just collapses on the bed. That was hilarious.
I also got booked to do a career day at an elementary school. You know how hard it is to explain to
at elementary.
At an it was so stupid to book me for that, but like, you know how hard it is to explain to second graders what I do for a living?
Yeah, well, I do career discussions for third-year veterinary students at the vet school.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm what we call an atypical veterinarian. That's the term, atypical, because I'm not doing day to day. I still have a practice that I'm in there, once a week.
So a veterinarian can be explained to a second grader. A fireman can be explained to a second grader.
Yeah.
What I do for a living?
No.
And the way, but what I do for a living and the way I make my money. And so here's what I did. I turned the whole thing into being about advertising.
There you go.
And how.
And that's important.
How we have commercials.
No, that's important.
And I said, and I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to say 2 words to y'all, and it's going to show you what advertising does. You know what 2 words I said to them? And they were going to respond. After I said 2 words, they were going to respond. I said, I'm going to tell y'all 2 words, and you're going to completely understand what advertising is. Here's my 2 words. Get Gordon.
Huh.
And the whole class went, and get it done.
Get Gordon and get it done.
That is a commercial. And
that is a commercial.
And that was the launching pad from there. And I did a good, I did a good about 20 minutes on it.
Yep.
Which.
Yeah. That's exactly.
I was expecting like 8th graders when I went, and I got 2nd graders. So I just had to flush my whole presentation.
I understand.
And come up with something on the fly, and I came up with Get Gordon.
I understand.
So
I understand.
Jen sent the ash chart.
The S chart?
Ash
chart.
Yeah, this was. What I was telling you about.
The Franciscan
ash.
The IP priest, the hipster, the blob, low tone, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mother said, you have to bring your poems in to get burned. I said, why? So you got to have a fresh one. I said, why? No.
Jim says, please let him know that Senate finances at 1.
No, it's at 9. 9 a.m. I have the. No.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't wait. Let me look again. I brought the agenda. They could have changed it. No.
She's texting me. No, it's at 1. It's been moved.
It's been moved?
It's been moved.
How can they move it on me?
I don't know.
It gives me more time to study and get prepared. Bring on my. I would have been racing there.
Yeah.
Here you go. See? I did not make this up.
No.
Wait. It has been moved. How they do that to me? 1 p.m. A to B scheduled. Okay. I go study some revised. It was revised on the 13th.
Okay. See, there you go.
Okay. Well, I would have been there extra on time, right?
Yep.
So the House Appropriation Committee, which has like 3 times the members that the Senate does, right?
Mhm.
3 times. And they all ask you questions. And at this particular year, they were just really grilling everybody. So I went in there and I did my study. I always study, right?
Yeah.
So I have my folder. Then I have my first line of support papers. Then I got my second line of support papers. Then I got like 5 big binders. And the chairman said, Dr. Strain, what is that? I said, well, this is the information that you've been requesting that we're going to cover today. And it's like 11:40. And they've been there since 9 a.m. And they said, lunch is coming. I said, yeah, but look, I had some breakfast. We can make it till supper. And the chairman says, can you be brief? I said, yes, sir, but this is for the question and answer period. So, right. They go on. And I said, okay, questions. And it says, not today. because you try to answer all the questions ahead of time.
That's the legislative answer to peace through strength.
That's right.
Right.
So as I'm leaving, someone said, what's in all those binders? I said, paper.
Yeah.
I said, no, what's in those binders? I said, paper.
Proper follow is what's on the paper.
Paper.
837 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. I tell you, if you miss out on the Facebook end of this show, you're missing out on so much when Dr. Strain's in the house. We call it Farmers Studio. We have Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain in with us, fresh off of his trade mission to Africa. I want to pick up where we left off. We were talking about getting them rice, but we hadn't hit on yet is what we need from them.
Okay. So they are the world's largest exporter of cocoa, one of the world's largest exporters of cashews, right? And coffee. So you think about what comes into the Port of New Orleans and Port of Baton Rouge? Coffee, right?
Yep.
Lots of coffee. And so start working on bringing the coffee here. Now, chocolate, right? Think about making candy here in Louisiana.
Shout out
Elmer's. Cocoa. Wait, cashews and cocoa, Louisiana pecans. So then we start talking about, okay, entrepreneurs, we need to develop a candy business. The largest import that they have from the United States is butane, not natural gas, not propane, butane, because all of their homes, they use butane bottles. So you see no smoke. The air is clear. They're burning butane. They import it in bulk and then repackage it. And so the discussion is okay, what about LNG? Well, we don't use natural gas. I said, wait. LNG from Louisiana, you start talking about the conversion, of your buildings and your homes to natural gas, or, or using bottled natural gas, right? Because we have massive amounts that we can send to you. So now you're talking in the hundreds of millions of dollars just about natural gas. And so, import and export, but cocoa, again, a big deal. Also, their cashews and their coffee. And those are big ticket items that we can bring. And it doesn't necessarily have to be processed here. Remember, we're the gateway to America, the mighty Mississippi River.
Yes.
We bring that up. And so with trade, everything needs to be two ways, right? We need to bring in ships loaded, not ships empty, right? Unload, reload, and go.
Yes.
And so that's kind of the discussion and the idea. But also to understand what size ships we're talking about, right?
Right.
Because we looked at, we talked about the draft of their ports,
right?
And what they can unload. That's why we went to the port to look.
So I didn't even realize. I wasn't thinking.
It's a big deal.
See, I think about the draft in New Orleans because you got to come up river a little bit.
Yeah, it's 50
but I just
feet.
assume they're right on the coast.
They're right on the coast. No. They dug a canal.
No way.
Oh yeah, the French dug a canal going from the ocean into this ancient port. I mean, it's been there since time and eternity, right? But they dug a canal to bring in modern ships, and so the maximum depth for them is about 40. Let's see, it's going to be like 14 meters. So right at 50 feet. So that's what at most though. At most, so they bring in, generally speaking, those vessels that can carry about 23,000 metric tons. That's about what they can bring in, which is the medium-sized ships, not the great big ships, right? Not the huge ones, but that will hit their draft. And so it's not the big container ships, right, that we're going to be bringing in as we build our super port below New Orleans, right? But containers, you can move cocoa and chocolate. Now they're a big deal. They make chocolat. That's what they call it, chocolat.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. Is their chocolate. But again, bringing that in, and so you got to know what we can ship, the size of the vessels for us to bring down there
Okay.
has to be within that, about 22,500 metric tons.
I want to ask you about the global economy here, because if we've got new deals with Ivory Coast when it comes to cocoa, when it comes to coffee, what does it do?
Globally, we're rolling.
Well, because when you say bringing in coffee to New Orleans, I just assume Brazil. So how does this affect our overall trade? Like if we're picking up one from the other, does it mean we're taking in less from the other, or it's just demand?
Probably, yeah. Well, there's a finite demand on American consumption. American consumption of food products in general has decreased.
Really?
Absolutely. People are eating less. They're trying to eat healthier.
Right
now, the demand for premium products, you'd have to put excellent coffee, high valued beef, different wine, different products, that has remained stable, if not increasing. There's a generation like before us that is still, that they buy those higher dollar consumables, and our economy, believe it or not, is the strongest in the world as far as disposable income.
Oh yeah.
So there's a growing demand, but our population is not growing to increase overall consumption. And if you're talking about total tonnage, our exports are growing. If you look at all the charts, they talk about dollars, and I brought this up to the USDA in Washington 2 weeks ago. So every report we see is in dollars. I want to see a report in tonnage. Tonnage is going up.
Okay.
Dollars are remaining the same or going down. The big deal is our currency issues that we are working on. But with trade, one of the things that we have been doing is going to the road less traveled. Now through the Foreign Ag Service, the USDA, and this is part of the president's directive to the Foreign Ag Service and really to all of us, is to find more markets. And they are working hard, opening more markets, signing trade deals, but when they sign a trade deal in a smaller market, you got to get there, right? If you're going to do business, you've got to get there. And so as ag commissioners across the United States, we're working hard to go to as many of these places as possible. But I look at them and say, okay, what do they bring in there? What do they eat there? What are their needs? And, they're talking about timber, rice, cotton, chicken, right? Corn, beans. That's where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
Wherever we can actually have where we can move the dial, because the only way we're going to get prosperity back in agriculture, we've got to get these commodity prices up. We're also working on trying to lower these input costs, and we're working on that very hard, but we've got to use proper science and rationality, because the cost of producing has went up, whereas the price the farmer is receiving has remained stable or went down at the same time. And that's why for the last 3 years in a row, I would say about 40+% of all of our farms lost money, didn't make money, and we've got to reverse that quickly.
And Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain is in with us. We call it Farm to Studio. Now, last one before on the Africa trip before we move on, because we got a lot of ground to cover. And that is,
we won't let Moon come on today.
I need that kind of power. So Ivory Coast,
it's right there on that board.
The computer takes over, though. It didn't even run through that board. No, the computer takes it over.
That's Moon.
Yeah.
He I can pick on him.
No, that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. Yes.
So last one, we're going into Ivory Coast.
Yes.
That's awesome. Branching out beyond Ivory Coast, are we looking at Ghana? Are we looking at Sierra Leone? Are we looking at
we're going to use this as a launching pad to go in
and
go. That's exactly right.
Outward.
And so as the words of our charge d'affaires, which is part of the American embassy, so they're there to help us and to facilitate. So yes. So, but again, this is going to be the launching pad, and if we can work to establish that base, and then we can move into the entirety of West Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. And that is the goal, because you got to have a port, right? It's like, all right, we're going to come to the port of New Orleans, Port of South Louisiana, Port of Baton Rouge, and then we're going to move these products into America.
Well, and I know, for example, ExxonMobil's got a pretty strong presence in, was it Angola? I believe?
Yes.
And how much infrastructure is already built out to make it easier for us to move in?
They have good highways.
Okay.
They do have very, very good highways. They are investing in infrastructure. And so, but you move it in by port, you move it, then you get it on the trucks, and you got to find those places to sell it. I have not evaluated their rail system yet.
Okay.
Right. But by truck and by highway, and any other method of conveyance we can get it there.
Now, just to dispel any like misconceptions or whatever, the parts of Africa we're talking about are not like these are well regulated, right? Well regulated, well
regulated, and
good
really.
law enforcement.
Well, let's go to that. Right? They are adamant about not having any illegal aliens from Cote d'Ivoire into the United States. They don't have any, not one. And let me tell you something. It is strict going out of that country, right? And so they're also pushing back, because you go to the north is where the north of that country is where the terrorists are, right?
Okay.
And so they're actively working with the United States to dispel terrorism, around their borders. And so that's another reason we have to have a presence there.
We got about 2.5 minutes till we have to meet up with Your Money Now. So let's go ahead and pivot over. It is the Lenten season, which means we sacrifice.
You got crawfish on the brain, right?
Yes.
I did check out my crawfish cooker yesterday.
Okay.
I got to make sure it's in good working order, and my new favorite one is the one that's the big vat that you've got, that you fill up and has the dump on it, right? Oh yeah.
The one
yes,
big,
indeed.
the big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right. And I got that at Goodwood Hardware. Oh, it is beautiful, right?
Okay.
It's a thing to look at. And then of course, I have the crawfish table that you put the garbage can in the middle, right?
Right.
Put it on there. Look, we're getting serious now.
Standing table,
getting serious, right? So, and for me, a big seafood day for my family is always Good Friday. Always Good Friday. And I can tell you that I can see the crawfish coming, right?
Yeah.
And some sweet potatoes, right? Yam, right? We're going to have sweet potatoes. We got, it's not fresh grown this year, but it's still, it's in the freezer. It's the last harvest on Strain Farms. That'll be the corn that we'll have. And, and we're getting ready. So that's always a big family day for us. And we can't wait. But in the meantime, they got plenty of crabs, right? Time for some gumbo. It's time to really sacrifice and have that, that catfish po' boy, or have the oyster po' boy, some charbroiled oysters, right?
We had Rocco in here on Friday. We made he had the peacemakers, half shrimp, half oyster.
Oh yeah.
And the Louisiana shrimp. So
somebody asked me one time
meatier.
if I knew that today was my last day on earth, what would I have? I said I'd have a shrimp and oyster po' boy.
No.
Or maybe fried crawfish po' boy. You ever had those? One of those?
Yes.
Po' boy Lloyd's?
Yes, I have.
Yes,
sure.
indeed.
And yeah, I would probably go with the fried shrimp, but I'd go with some char-grilled oysters. I get away from the po' boy with oysters. So I go for some char-grilled.
Yeah, yes. And you can get Drago's special sauce. He sells the sauce.
I have a bottle of it in my refrigerator right now. I do.
I can't get my grill at 1600 degrees.
No.
But I'm thinking about it. Get my brother to build us a grill. He's a very good, fabricator, right? Yeah. And figure out how to do this. So if you see a little mushroom cloud, that might be that we messed up, right?
we get another break breathing down our necks right here. We got Your Money Now coming your way. And Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain is in the house. When we pick back up on the other side, we will continue talking a little bit about seafood, but there might be one or two other topics we need to cover here. USDA offering some assistance in recent times. So we'll pick that back up. Right now, here's Your Money Now on Talk 107.3.
Yeah, I think we can build us a grill. And we can, put some. We're gonna have to use propane, right? And you put some of those lava rocks in there, right? And some charcoal. I got to get it hot enough, right? Yeah. And then we put the oysters on there and get the. Now, if I buy it in a bottle, I'm gonna squirt it. I'm not gonna do like they do with a big ladle, right?
No,
that's where the fire jumps.
Well,
up,
yeah,
right?
that's what they're wanting is to make the whole place smell.
Oh, it smells good.
I know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And by the way, have you been to the new location?
Where? No, I haven't.
So they closed down off College Road Constitution.
I know. Yes.
They're in Perkins Row.
Really? Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, Perkins Row. Yeah. Yeah.
Drago's. I went to the grand opening. This better be right. Yeah, they're in Perkins Row.
Wow. Yes.
And if we're being honest, much better location.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the old location
was a little hard to get in and out.
Well, no, yeah, Constitution's a pain in the butt, but the old location was an old video store.
Yeah,
or an old Blockbuster Music.
Yeah, I remember that.
So,
yeah,
it didn't have any kind of vibe to it. It just,
yeah. When I can, I go to Metairie, to the original location on North Arnault.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Fat City, babe.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably don't remember Fat City.
No,
that was a happening place.
I heard my favorite Fat City haunt is coming back.
Really?
If I tell you Fat City, what's the number one restaurant you associate with it? Gone but not forgotten. All right, throw these two words out, see if it changes. Dippin' bread.
Yeah. Dipping bread.
Crazy Johnny's.
Crazy Johnny's.
Remember Crazy
Johnny's?
Johnny's?
Oh, do I remember Crazy Johnny's? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And
they tried to open up in Covington.
They did.
And they started with their prices too low, and they got just run out of business like every out of house and home.
But I know they would. I mean, that's the thing. They were inexpensive.
Right.
And you get that shrimp, that barbecue shrimp with the bread, and then the steak, the Crazy Johnny's steaks, the dipping sauce.
It's just grease.
Of course, but
So
it's good.
though.
So good. So good. I remember Crazy Johnny's. Yeah. At the old Heritage. It was the Heritage before it was Crazy Johnny's. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Peasy Romano owned that building. Peasy Romano, who grew up with my dad.
Really?
Yeah. Peasy. Yeah. Yes. That was a happening place. Crazy Johnny's was wonderful. Yes.
Loved it.
Yep.
I understand Crazy Johnny's is coming back in Fat City.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, Fat City for a while was a big competitor with Bourbon Street. Big competitor with to bring, Yeah.
Yeah, I had some.
Yeah.
We had some nights that have got some hazy memories. No cellos. Where was Senior Frogs was out in West End.
Oh, I love Senior Frogs.
Yeah, there was a couple of Fat City bars up in there where you really wish Uber had been around in the mid-90s.
So when you go to Abidjan, I did not see not one person smoking a cigarette.
Really?
Not one person vaping. They don't drink a lot of alcohol. Very few drink. They may drink a little wine, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But no, not a single.
Crazy Johnny's is back and has officially reopened in Metairie.
Wow.
New location, 3560 Veterans Boulevard. How about it?
There we go. There we go. I'm glad I don't have to run for a year. That starts next year, 2027. Yeah. 2027. That's all right. I'm ready. I stay ready.
You're not going to a whole lot of negative campaigning in the Ag Commissioner's race, though.
What are they going to say?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What are they going to say? Yeah. Thank goodness. Right?
Yeah.
And the cost of campaign.
Well,
What do you think they're going to spend in the Senate race between the two? $30 million?
Easily.
$30 million.
Because you got to think about 2 rounds, right? They're not going to get the 30 in the primary.
You could have 4 actually.
No, because it's a plurality in the
okay. So that's 1. Then you could have 2 more, right?
You have a Republican primary, a Republican runoff, and then a general. And as I understand it, the general's a plurality. There's no runoff.
I'd have to read it again.
Yeah.
So, but that's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have up to 3 rounds worth of, and the intensity between May and June, like let's say it's Cassidy and Letlow, the intensity there is going to be beyond compare.
Let's see. But is the party primary the middle of May? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, May 15th, because that's the one. Isn't it a plurality there to see who advances?
No, because there's a runoff in June
for the Republican nominee.
Republican nominee and Democrat nominee. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's the general election in November is the plurality one. Because by that time it's going to be 2 candidates.
Yeah,
you might have
that's right.
Offshoot independent, but
wow. So the bulk of the money is going to be spent between now and June, because to be the Republican nominee, right?
Yeah.
Wowzer.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh no, I'm personally not a fan of close primaries.
No,
I feel
I like it the way it is.
I feel that the close primary serves the party, not the people. So
I've always run in open primaries. All 7 races. Yeah. 7.
856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got Ag Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain with us. I need to just take a quick second to remind you about 5 Star Printing and Signs. Printshop5.com is the website. 4096 is the phone number. I was texting back and forth with Danny about something we're working on. Actually, we're talking with Dr. Strain about this being an election year. This is where Danny shines, y'all. 271-4096. If you are running for anything at all throughout the year, we got an election coming up in March for State District 69. We've got May and June for the primaries and Senate and all the congressional races. And then, of course, come fall, it'll be the big general election as well. 271-4096 or printshop5.com to get a hold of Danny from 5 Star Printing and Signs. All right, very, very short period of time left here. I kind of want to, I could talk seafood with you all day long, but the USDA is offering assistance for special crop farmers. Tell me why.
Yeah, because the specialty crop farmers generally are not, they do not have programs for crop insurance.
Okay.
They don't exist. And
what is a specialty crop?
So specialty crops are those that are, outside of your corn and your beans and your cotton. So it's such things as strawberries. If you look at pecans, so it is, they are the smaller acreage, but they're very important vegetables or specialty crops. And so for these, you have all these programs that benefit, quote, row crops, or you want to talk about the big farms, but very little to help these people. And so if you have your strawberry crop wiped out, look, if you're a 24-acre strawberry farm, that could wipe you out. So the purpose of this assistance is to help them to get back into production and remain in production. So so we have specialty crop block grants that we administer for promotion and research.
Okay.
And now we're also talking about how we can hope to export them. But think about strawberries, think about tomatoes, think about, cucumbers, eggplant, onions, garlic, those sorts of things. And so those are, quote, specialty crops because they are smaller. And just think of that.
Did this year's freeze affect?
Yes, it did. It hit them pretty hard. It could have been worse, but if you think about where you're at in the freeze line, right? So you have to think about the entirety of America.
Yeah.
And the entirety, of Louisiana. So it did. But if you're looking at, the $12 billion that the USDA has set aside to help our farmers, because they were also affected by low commodity prices very much. So $1 billion of that $1 billion has been set aside for the specialty crops.
We've got exactly 1 minute to go. I understand there's some livestock disaster aid coming in as well.
Yes, there's some livestock disaster aid, and it has to do with the losses, from cattle. One of the things in the farm bill, there is a livestock provision, but it's funded at $20 million a year for the entire United States.
Wow.
Which is a very small.
Yeah.
That's right. So this is to help for those that were affected by the disasters, by freezes, by fire, and that sort of thing. And so again, disaster assistance, and the whole idea is to keep our farmers farming, because if not, we decrease production. What's going to happen in the grocery stores?
The prices go through the roof.
Prices go through the
prices
roof.
go through the roof.
That's
to be
right.
sure.
We already lost 15,000 farms this year in America.
Yeah.
Out of 1.86 million.
He is Ag Commissioner Mike Strain. We do Farm to Studio once a month. We got to get out of here. Moon's next. Always appreciate your time, sir. Always a fantastic segment. That I know I went long with the Africa stuff.
That's okay.
But that's not something you're going to do every day. And it's something that's going to be huge for our state's economy.
Well, we were the first coalition to ever go there on a specific mission for trade.
Yeah.
They had two other just kind of visits, come see that, and that's where it ended, right? So trade is a big deal.
Can you text me a couple of the pictures, please? Yeah, thanks. Jen's already hitting me.
Who's hitting you?
Jen Finley. Oh my goodness, yes. All right, my friend. Well, thank you. Have fun. Wear the hat. Are you gonna whatever hat you got to wear? A hat.
I don't even know what I'm reading, so I will wear whatever appropriate costume there is.
Appropriate.
Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're smiling. You would look good at reading Cat in the Hat with the big cat hat on.
Really?
Yes, indeed. Because it's not, it comes up and it's kind of crooked at the top, right?
Yeah. Get that bend in it.
Oh, yeah. I do not eat green eggs and ham, Sam. I am, right?
You know who did the best rendition of that ever?
No.
Jesse Jackson.
Really?
He did it on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. And it was an absolutely classic bit. And everybody this was like back in the late 80s, early 90s when he did it. And everybody kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then it, like with him passing this week, somebody brought it back and it's been making the rounds on social media.
And that's something, huh?
Yeah.
He was 89.
But, yeah. and like when he read Green Eggs and Ham with his full on Jesse Jackson cadence and voice and authority and all that other good stuff. Green Eggs and Ham was absolutely hilarious.
Sam, I am.
That's.
I love Green Eggs. It still isn't that off.
Are we off?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're not off now. Hang on.
No.
Bye, y'all.
No.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye, y'all.